Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to GameFace episode 492, right here on SIFTD at SIFTD.net. I'm Shane Satterfield, the co-host of this awesome video game podcast. It's going to rock on for the next couple hours, but I can't do it alone. I need my teammate, and that, of course, is Matt Keil. Hey, Matt. How are you?
All right. You could do it alone, but it'd be harder to watch.
I've tried. Remember when I used to do that show called The Grind? Like, if you were ever out, I would do like a little spin-off thing of it. I haven't had to do that for a long time. In fact, this year we've been killing it. Like, we have not missed a week this entire year.
That's because I have all your equipment.
You're right. I can't do anything now. Yeah, we've been really killing it this entire year with GameFace. Even remember around not E3 Summer Game Fest time, when the schedules got kind of jumbled. Remember, we did shows in like 5 days and then 6 days and then 7 days to make sure we made an episode every week. It's been quite a run in 2026.
Really just medical issues.
Yeah. And unfortunately, at our age, it feels like it's like every year now, like the way I look at it is I'm going to spend a couple grand at the doctor or at the hospital or whatever.
Well, I mean, in my case, it was appendicitis and food poisoning, so not really age-related.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, appendicitis is a childhood problem, usually.
It is, actually. I was surprised to learn that. I thought it was this thing that it happened to, like, older people, but no.
No, it's usually young when you're younger. If you get past, like, 40, you usually don't get
ever
appendicitis. So. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you were one of the anomalies.
It was like, well, before we hit 50, let's get this out of here.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys are having an awesome week. I'll just say this. My trip over here today was the shortest ever. I got here in 15 minutes. That is, you know where I live. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Again, we mentioned this last week, but LA is just dead. Everyone's on vacation having fun.
I mean, it wasn't dead yesterday, I'll tell you that.
No, you're right. Yeah, traffic yesterday was actually really bad. I don't know what was going on yesterday. It was weird.
Everybody was extra stupid yesterday from what I could see.
That'll do it. We have an awesome show for you guys today. It is loaded with big stuff.
On Saturday, I had to go up to Pacoima. Nobody even knows where that is.
I've never heard of that.
It's up north, like on the way to Santa Clarita, basically. Because I ordered an exclusive Transformers thing, and the order got canceled. So the only way I could get it was to pick it up directly from a store. And the nearest store that had it was in Pacoima, which is about 20 miles north of here.
Oh, it's not too far.
So I went Saturday around noon because I was like, okay, well, this is fine.
There'll be no traffic. It'll be cool.
And it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
While I was up there, I'm like, there's a game I wanted, a board game, Legendary DC deck building, and those games used to be everywhere. The Legendary games. Now I guess they sat on shelves so long that like nobody wants to touch them anymore. So I couldn't find it anywhere. It was expensive from the publisher online. Didn't want to pay the shipping. So a store over in Woodland Hills had the game for 20% off, and I could just, no shipping on it. So I'm like, oh, okay, as long as I'm here, I'll go over to the Westfield Topanga. I haven't been there since I lived there in 2000. It's like a dead mall with like, just like sort of decaying.
Like a lot of malls
in a
now.
sun-baked parking lot kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go over there. So it's a pretty far drive west. So I go over there. I haven't driven over that way in forever. It's like, oh, look at that. You're driving down. It's like you're driving through like the desert where you're like, oh, that's like look at that Wile E. Coyote-ass rock over there. Like this is just where the Roadrunner shit happened. Right?
Yeah.
And so you go down, because you're coming down through like Chatsworth and stuff, and come down through there, and I get there, and I have no recognition of I'm like, where? It's like all these crazy parking maze structures and all, and everyone's like backed up. So I'm like, where? So I just go back around the front, like towards Ventura, where I used to come in, and I go in, I can't find parking anywhere.
It's
like
mobbed.
Everything's full. I mean, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of spaces full, and I end up parking. It's 109 degrees there, by the way, that day, and I end up parking like a half a mile away at the far end of the parking lot, and I walk all the way over, and I get there, and this thing has been rebuilt completely in the last 25 years, and like, it's like a miniature city.
Oh,
it's 3 levels inside. Crisscrossing things everywhere. It's like they didn't know malls are over, and like every imaginable store you can think of is in there. Every little like gymnasium things, little like playground things, little rides. The bottom floor is like underground. It's like the lower floor. It's called Topanga Social, and it's just Instagram opportunity. It's like escape rooms and like weird like obstacle courses and
places
like
to take
photo ops and stuff. And it's all like UV lit and shit. And I'm like, what the heck? I have never seen and it was packed because that day, specific day, I chose to go there randomly. everything was 15% off at the food court and all the cocktails and all them. Okay, yeah, that's why you're all. I'm like, what? Because I'm like texting him. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I walked into a mall and it's like 1992
84.
in here. Like, what is going on? And
I love going into busy malls. It gives me this crazy nostalgia rush. It takes me right back to being a kid.
So I'm just saying, if you like that, go up to Westfield Topanga. I've never been to the Mall of America in Minnesota, but like this is probably second. It doesn't have a roller coaster, but it's about the same. I mean, it is gigantic.
Century City Mall here is mobbed. It's like that, but it doesn't. It's not like an '80s mall.
This
it's
is
like
triple
outside.
that size. Well, it's all the Century City Mall looks like Starfleet headquarters to me because it's all outdoors with like plants and It's very pretty.
It is. It's very nice.
Especially
but it doesn't give me the nostalgia kick.
No, it doesn't feel like a mall.
School indoor mall.
It feels like a very designed space, but it's not a mall. Topanga Mall is like. Imagine if malls never died and just kept evolving.
Back to the Future era.
But it kept evolving.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a modern version of what that was. It's great. And like it's got those like diagonal stairs that crisscross everywhere. So all you can think of is the Terminator coming down them in Terminator 2. You know, like the old Glendale Galleria. It's like, so I take
trip back in time.
Take your wife up to Woodland Hills, and while she's complaining about how hot it is, because it is very hot there. As soon as you walk in, it's like, oh wow, weird. Like, I just never seen. Also, I thought it was very funny that the place I went was mostly a card shop, but the game in question is published by Upper Deck, which is a card, but they do little things. So they must just have they just must order everything Upper Deck makes and just get a few of everything.
Yeah.
And it was like on this weird little like circular table with the other board games, and like everything else was Magic cards and Pokemon cards. And so I go and I pick it. I'm like, I'm gonna pick it up. So I go take it to the front. And the guy's like, "You're just gonna get that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And the girl at the counter turns and goes, "Board games?" I was like, all right,
welcome to 2026, actually.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
She's out of touch because board games are a big thing.
I'm like, that store must not sell board because it's just one little table.
Dust.
Everything else is sports cards and Magic cards and Pokemon. Like it was not. That wasn't. It almost was like, did you get these by mistake? Is that why they're on sale, even though they're like 2 weeks old? You know.
Yeah.
So that was my adventure into Woodland Hills, which I haven't been to in forever. Like,
it'll probably be forever to you.
I lived there for a year in 2000, the first time I lived in LA, and it was terrible. Like, not terrible because of who I lived with or anything, but it was terrible because it's fucking hot and it's nowhere and it's far from everything.
You might as well not even be in LA.
It's just like everyone who lived there just wanted to one day make enough money to live in LA. And that's all it was. And
you did.
I did, yeah. But if you're completely different, I had to go home first. I had to go back to San Francisco.
That's funny.
I did make some friends down there, but cool. Over there when I was living there, you go out because there's nothing else to do, so you just go out and go get coffee, go hang out, and like pretend you were writing a screenplay or something. And you run into people,
and then people will run up to you and be like, "Hey!"
Especially in Van Nuys, like you'd run into all the porn stars that weren't working in the afternoon, and you're just like, "Oh, there you go."
It's great. Well, we do have a bunch of housekeeping for episode 492. The first thing I want to get to is Labor Day weekend. If you guys have been following SIFTD or me for a long time, you know I go home every Labor Day weekend. I am doing it again this year. I am leaving on September 3rd, and then I get back on the 9th. So I'll be gone for 6 days. Just want to let you know that I believe, was that September 7th is Tuesday?
Probably.
Either the 7th, 6th, something like that. That episode of GameFace is not happening. There is no episode that week. So Labor Day happens on Monday. We would have GameFace the day after Labor Day. I will be flying back the day after that, so that we will miss 1 week of GameFace.
It's the 8th.
The 8th. That's right. That sounds right. Yep. So on September 8th, there will be no GameFace. There's not going to be a makeup or a make good. I am actually taking some time off, although not really. Like I said, I leave the prior Thursday. I get there on Friday. You probably won't notice much of a change, honestly, because I'll do the same thing I always do. I'll backload a bunch of content and publish it for you guys as I'm gone. Honestly, you probably won't even know I'm not here, other than the fact that there won't be a GameFace on Tuesdays. So just want to give you guys a heads up. The first missed GameFace of the entire year, and my first time off this entire year. I have not taken a single day off in 2026. I think I took Memorial Day, the Monday off, like half of it or something. But otherwise, I never take time off, so I am taking it off for Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys do too. because it is the one time where you're really supposed to celebrate, damn, I worked my butt off this year. And I know everybody's doing it right now, not just me. So everybody hopefully has a little bit of time they can set aside for Labor Day to celebrate the fact that they bust their butts to make ends meet. And I think everybody's doing that right now. So, again, no episode of GameFace the day after Labor Day. And I'll repeat this for the next few weeks just to make sure everybody gets the message so people aren't showing up at 1 p.m. on that Tuesday here at twitch.tv/SiftedGames or youtube.com/SiftedGames. A couple other things. Matt, the sale of EA to Saudi Arabia went through this week. And I gotta say...
Emirates.
Yeah, I know. And I gotta say, I felt a little sad about it. Like, I felt like... And look, I know that EA, year after year, was rated one of the worst companies to work in America, literally for like 5 years straight.
There's kind of a nowhere to go but up thing here in a lot of respects. Obviously, it's kind of the end of this, like, institution, whether you like it or not. It was a thing. It
was a great American game company. And one of the first ones. And, like, there still aren't that many, let's be honest. No. Like... And now it's not. It's not an American company
But it looks
anymore.
like they might be selling off some of the tertiary stuff.
Really? Did you see that?
I saw some talk that they might be selling off, like, BioWare and basically anything that isn't Madden, FIFA, or not Battlefield. It's not FIFA anymore, but Battlefield, Madden, and anything not
Sims.
ball or gun.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a possibility that BioWare could go to a loving home.
Or go away.
But like, I think someone would probably want to buy BioWare just at least for the IP. But there's also the possibility that won't happen because they still have the Mass Effect TV series in development. So you probably wouldn't sell that off while you've still got that in play.
Yeah.
Unless you want to sell that off too. I mean, if the new buyers don't care about that, then that could all be on the table. Who knows? But there's a chance that Respawn could break away. There's a chance that a bunch of but. You wonder how much Respawn is valued now without Vince.
Yeah, because now, they have... I mean, he did a great job while he was there, but you're right. If you're looking to Respawn to launch new IP, that's a concern.
It kind of depends how much you consider him to have been sort of the brain trust on that. And, like, personally, I would assume he was a pretty big part of why Respawn was what it was. Certainly, you had the vibe that the old Infinity Ward and I don't remember 2015. I think was the name of their division that did Allied Assault and stuff before that. Like you could feel it was that same leadership in some way, leadership style at least. So I guess it's possible he had proteges, but you wonder how much that impacts that. I assume Maxis is going away forever finally.
Well, I mean, The Sims 4 is still huge. It does huge numbers. Like they've kind of.
It really just comes down to whether the new buyers care about that or not. Is it huge to the degree that they think huge should be? I mean, if they're just looking at like at that football club, like, who knows what they want in terms of revenue and money, or I mean. From what it looked like from my industry friends who were chatting about like kind of the deal, it sounds like they're just going to Toys R Us this thing. It sounds like they're just going to saddle this thing with all the debt. Everyone who put in for the sale is going to get cashed out immediately, and this is going to struggle under like $1 billion of debt, unable to pay any of it back or make any headway on the debt for a couple of years, and EA will shut down just like KB Toys, just like Bed Bath & Beyond, just like Toys R Us, etc. It's just vulture capitalism.
I mean, that's private equity. It's been happening to a lot of the video game websites. GameSpot is owned by private equity.
But it's not private equity. It's a very specific vulture capitalism technique that Bain Capital, Mitt Romney's VC firm, you basically buy the thing, you throw all the debt on the company, and you just sort of let it flounder because it doesn't matter.
And write it off.
And you write it off as a loss, and like everybody who didn't, you get paid out pretty much when you buy it anyway, because you saddle the debt on them and you get the payout that way, and then you get to write it all off later when the company inevitably fails because there's no way to get out from underwater on that.
My big fear is that I felt like there were very slim chances that EA would revive its old IP under its prior conditions. Now I feel like there is zero chance.
I think they're going to sell all that off.
You think they'll sell the IP?
I think they're going to fire sale it.
That actually could be a good result.
It could. It could go to some of these things. Could go to people that are actually going to do something with it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to. I think they might interplay it. I think they might fire sale the whole thing, get a little extra cash out of all that, and EA will sort of just be, It'll be The Sims and Madden and Football Club and Battlefield, and they will just sort of see how long it manages to keep breathing.
So it sounds like they're only interested in games with a recurring revenue stream.
That would be my guess, and it's certainly what I've heard. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have any actual inside info on any of that. I'm just saying I've heard a lot of chatter from people who I trust in terms of seeing this stuff go down over and over again, that like that's seems to more or less be what happens.
Not that EA was focused on single-player games anyway.
No, absolutely. And some of that might just be wishful thinking. Like, you know, you would like to see them just sort of sell stuff off because maybe somebody can get their hands on the Origin stable or the Westwood IPs. Or there's a bunch of stuff that, you know, I'm sure we'd love to have floating out there in the hands of people that are actually going to do something with them. That EA's been sitting on for literally decades in some cases.
Yeah.
Like,
so in some ways, it could be good.
It could be. I mean, even if they don't sell anything off and it all folds like a flan in a cupboard after a couple of years, all that stuff's got to go somewhere. So who knows?
Yeah, I will admit I was a little sad this week.
Honestly, it's kind of bad. I mean, it's not like EA hasn't been doing. I mean, EA's been trudging along like a zombie for so long. Like, you know, it's probably time.
That did make it a little easier.
It's probably time to rip that Band-Aid off and let some drastic things happen. I mean, it sucks because, you know, obviously lots of people are probably gonna lose their jobs.
Yes.
It's gonna.
They said they're gonna cut $700 million worth of whatever,
and a lot of that's gonna be salary.
That is gonna be salary. So. I mean, that's the biggest overhead of pretty much every company. They may close a couple big offices, maybe. Yeah. But,
and I'm not thrilled by, you know, like you say, a long-standing American company being sold off to foreign interests is never a positive thing.
Yeah.
But I guess the good news is we probably won't have to live with it very long.
Yeah.
I don't think if this is going to be another one of those vulture capital saddle the company with the purchase debt, EA's not going to live more than a couple years, like, because you can't pay off $1 billion plus all the interest for these crazy leveraged buyouts. Like, they're not going to be able to make any headway even against the principle. So
Billy Bo Baggins 64 says selling their studios will be best case scenario.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's hard to sell studios because I think a lot of people learned from Microsoft buying Rare, ironically enough, back in the early aughts, that it's like, you can buy a studio, and it may even own some of its IP, but you don't own the people. And they can leave, and then you're just left with a name and a logo. And it feels like the industry has kind of learned through time that, like, selling studios just generally isn't a good idea. But, I mean, obviously I want BioWare to continue on.
I mean, you'd be selling the IP.
Yeah.
Like, you're selling BioWare.
You get Mass Effect, you think, with BioWare?
Of course. What else would you get it with? I mean, you
get the studio.
But the studio isn't important at that point. Like, I mean, I guess
that was what I was getting at. Do the studios matter? It's really just about the IP. It feels like
the current BioWare doesn't matter. No.
Yeah.
The IP matters, and you know, obviously that is the best case scenario. But like, you can get some money for that, and in the wake of whatever they're doing to buy this thing out, getting a little extra money, you know, getting a few $1 million out of selling off Dragon Age and Mass Effect, which is really what you're buying if you buy BioWare.
Yeah.
You know, might be worth it to balance the books for the purchasers a little bit, because it's not going to help not going to help EA.
Yeah.
It just depends, like, you know, because that's the thing, is like you'd be like, oh, that doesn't make a lot of sense because you got Mass Effect 4 coming, you got the Mass Effect TV series coming. Like, wouldn't you want to wait and see what revenue you get out of that? And like, no, because the revenue that EA is going to make from now on doesn't matter to the people who bought it.
Yeah.
They made their money. They're going to make their money when it folds and is a write-off. So they really don't want it to succeed much longer than it needs to. You need it to live just long enough to make the purchase seem
legitimate.
And that's sort of it. And this isn't specific to the people who bought EA. This is just how this process works.
No, you're right. It's the way it always is.
Like, I'm not saying like specifically terrible people bought EA. I'm just saying everyone who does these big buyouts, all these venture capital firms, that's just what happens. Like, you buy it all out, you kind of get out with the money, and you let the company you bought just sort of crumble. Yeah.
One thing I will say is I do wonder, since it's now owned by Saudi Arabia, if maybe the redundancy layoffs won't be as bad because of the English language barrier. Like, you can't really just have someone from Saudi Arabia replace your HR department in America, or maybe even your marketing department.
But you can't cut it down if all you intend to do is sort of just let it rot.
Look, if they just want to kill it, then they'll just cut it to the bone. Yeah.
And also, I guess it also depends on
what they're going to do.
Is that Prince involved? Is that him?
I mean, he's involved in everything they do, yeah.
So, like, I mean, he does like video games, so there is a possibility that maybe he has a couple special interests that he will force through, whether it makes sense or not, kind of like what he did with King of Fighters.
Pachter seems to think that the reason Saudi Arabia is doing this...
the City of the Wolves.
Yeah.
Whatever that was. Fatal Fury or whatever.
Pachter seems to think that Saudi Arabia is doing this to try to establish the games industry in Saudi Arabia.
That's possible, but at the same time, it's like, wouldn't you just start your own?
It's easier if you have big IP to start with, I guess.
But do they have big IP? You know, is this big IP? Battlefield, sure, but like, wouldn't you need to renegotiate? I mean, I guess you don't.
You're not going to let your Saudi studio make these big IPs.
But I guess you don't have a license for EA Football Club, do you?
No.
I mean, you have the Players Association license. But
yeah, you don't have the FIFA license.
You don't have to deal with FIFA.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, that's turned out to be a blessing now because FIFA's a disaster.
I mean, anytime you don't have to deal with FIFA,
that's a good thing.
Or any kind of like these weird money. I mean, I finally got picked for the Olympics ticket lottery. So
you did?
So I got to look and see about it. Unbelievable.
The prices, you mean?
$1,000 tickets plus. Like starts at $1,000 for one event on one day.
Same thing happened with the World Cup.
No,
it's not worth it, man.
Like, I would be interested to go see the archery, but I'm not paying $800 for it.
There's a lot of stuff I'd like to see, but I'm not going to spend $1,000 to go watch sports for a couple hours. It's just not going to happen. I just flat out can't afford it. That's the truth of it all. So anyway, maybe there's some good, maybe there's some bad with the Saudi purchase, but at the end of the day, it made me sad to see EA go away because there just aren't that many great American games companies, honestly.
I mean, it's just sort of tags on to the end of the sad of watching it do what it's done for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a slow death we've watched, and now it feels like they've, like you said, they ripped the Band-Aid off at this point. And now we just have to deal with the scar. So EA, no longer an American company, which is crazy. Oh, we got a super chat over on YouTube. Let's check in. Let's see. This comes from Crypto Cody. Thank you very much, Crypto Cody. He asks, how do you feel about the reception to Halo Campaign Evolved on PS5? Is it too old of a title? Are we now nostalgic for 2010 era games like Black Ops 1 and 2? Yeah, I don't know if you saw or not, but Halo did not sell on PS5.
Yeah.
Which, that was their whole marketing campaign was, you've waited your whole life to play Halo on PlayStation, and here it is. And nobody cared. It's sold, I think, in the UK, and those charts are just physical only, I think, or maybe digital only. They're not accurate, is my point. It came in like third or fourth its opening week, which, what? That seems crazy.
Maybe just too old. Maybe no multiplayer.
Yeah, I think the multiplayer might be more. I think it was overpriced to not have multiplayer, is what I would say. So, but yeah, I'm pretty surprised. I really thought it would sell pretty well.
I think they should have just put Master Chief Collection on there and called it a day.
I thought the first one would sell pretty well, Cody. And so for the first one to not sell well, why even bother now? Like, you got to wonder if now Microsoft and Xbox isn't second-guessing the whole multi-platform strategy. This is their golden
Sort
path.
of, but also, I mean, I'm not saying they're aware enough of reality to know this, but it's like, maybe don't judge the market by its reaction to Halo.
Yeah.
Like, Halo, as I've said many times, is dead.
It is dead.
Halo is over.
Even among Xbox fans, it's dead.
Yeah, and it's time for the Xbox division to acknowledge that and stop
pushing it.
Stop pushing it and stop acting surprised when it doesn't catch.
Because it hasn't caught since even Halo 4 was.
Yeah.
Since Halo 3, it just hasn't really been a thing.
The peak was Halo 3 and ODST, and you're gonna have to just fucking come to terms with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been
a long time now.
16 years,
it really has. Yep.
Since Reach or whatever, and so. Figure it out.
Yep. Crypto Cody, thank you very much for that super chat, man. We appreciate it so much. We really do. Let's check in over on Twitch. What else is on YouTube? David9633, thanks for the stream. Thank you, David, for checking us out over on youtube.com/SIFTDgames. Dazzle369 agrees with us. Halo was dead since Halo 4. Yeah, I mean, it really has been. Yeah. Billy Bo Baggins, they should have rebooted with that canceled Lego Halo. I mean, that might have more interest at this point.
Probably.
I hate
just
to say
something
it.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. Vincent says, we saw how much trouble it took to get Master Chief Collection off the ground in the first place. He's right. Like, it was a disaster, like, on other platforms. Yeah.
I mean, it took, like, what, 2 years to get that thing working properly?
Yep.
And Bungie had to divert 343 had to divert all those resources to it. Just a waste of time.
Noxatornitis thinks that by this time, everyone who wanted to has played old Halo. But if you're only a PlayStation customer, how would you have?
But how many of those, if you are interested in Halo, you probably would have gotten around to it.
You're right. The semantics there is, I can see that. Andy T. Monahan says, or the new editions turn people off. I mean, I generally think that the editions were for the better.
Yeah, I mean, they're optional. It's not like anyone.
You didn't have to play through those
forced
3
to play
missions
the
if you
extra
didn't want
things.
to.
Like most people I know who did get it have not been impressed by those missions.
Because they're not
like,
very good.
well, like you said, it's just like they all say the same. There's like, oh, they just made me run around that stupid ship for another 3 missions.
Yeah,
it's like,
for
that's
another
not
3 or 4
when,
hours.
like, again, the appeal of Halo 1, especially Halo 1, was always the open area combat.
Yeah.
Like, that was the interesting part, was like these open areas, these things running around, running behind rocks, like that. Like, that was that kind of like cat and mouse thing with the Covenant.
Yeah.
And that's not really there in those corridors. It's I was always surprised. I mean, one of the ways that I think that first game has aged the worst is just in terms of like sort of onboarding, is that the first level is in the Pillar of Autumn, and like you're running through these standard spaceship corridors. Like, it takes so long to get to
what it really is.
Yeah. And that made sense in 2001 because that Pillar of Autumn level is so familiar. It's like it kind of gets you into the game and like, okay, I've played a corridor shooter before.
Yeah, I can do this.
And then all of a sudden it throws you out into this thing. You're like, what?
And it's like a reveal.
Yeah, it's like a reveal. And like you feel like you kind of got your head around the controls, and because again, that the trigger throw on the grenade, that was different.
It was at the time.
That was not something that anyone else did. Before that, you had to switch to the grenade.
Yeah.
And that's why no
it
one used
wasn't
grenades.
always accessible.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to switch to a grenade. Fuck it, I'm just going to
keep shooting.
But like, if you can just like toss it out at random, like, yeah, great.
Makes
awesome.
a difference.
Big deal. That was one of its biggest innovations, probably. And then all of a sudden you're thrown out in this thing. It's like, but now everyone knows how to play.
Everyone knows what Halo is.
And that Pillar of Autumn level is just boring to most people. So like, you're gonna have to wait until you get to the thing that you are here to see, and then you get to that now, and it's like, well, I've played 14 shooters that did this because Halo was so influential, and
now they're maybe doing it better.
It is like my comparison is always like watching Aliens to a younger person, because they're like, oh, what's with all the cliches? And it's because this movie invented those cliches. It's so influential. Also, I should say, on Saturday, I went to see Aliens in 70mm at the Westlake Village, the Directors Village Theater in Westwood, and James Cameron showed up.
No way!
To watch the movie with us. He showed up at the beginning.
Did you know that was going to happen?
No, it was supposed to be. It was going to have a Q&A with.
What a random!
It was going to have a Q&A with Gail Ann Hurd, who was the producer, and his ex-wife.
And he showed up.
But he showed up, and he's like, Gail is stuck back east with some legal thing she's got to deal with.
Yeah.
And the head of Fox told me this was happening. And I thought, I haven't seen the movie with an audience in forever, so I decided to change my travel plans and come here and watch it.
Wow, that's great, man.
And so he came and he sat down and watched it with us in 70mm. It was great. And the other interesting thing was he asked how many people here have never seen this before, and about half it was probably about 1,000 some people, because it's a big old school big single screen theater. I'd say about half the audience raised their hands.
Wow.
And a lot of them are very young. We have a lot of 20-somethings, and I was just sort of impressed that a bunch of a few hundred 20-somethings who'd never seen Aliens decided to come watch it on film.
Yeah,
on a
that's
70mm print. So
there's
cool.
hope for the kids yet.
Yeah, and a lot of there were young kids in front of us, and they all really liked it.
Yeah,
and they'd never seen it before.
Swan Senpai says when Halo is $20, it will sell.
Yeah, that's true.
It will. Yeah,
just about anything will.
Anything will at that
Speaking
price.
of which, Star Wars Outlaws is on sale for like $17 on Steam right now. If you haven't played it, go try it. It's pretty good.
Eth Demon says it's ironic the Star Wars Zero Company might be the last EA game.
Yeah,
that comes out in a week. Like
coming soon.
We're going to be talking about that on next week's show, maybe. No.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
But it's possible. They just put out the customization thing today. That looked nice.
Yeah.
Like that is probably the most customizable clone armor I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah. I'm excited for that game. If you guys don't know, that's Star Wars XCOM, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. There's a round of previews went up today. You can find those at SIFTD.net if you want to check them out. Swan Senpai says, I've never seen any Alien.
I mean, I'm not a horror guy either. I think horror stuff is pretty stupid most of the time. But Alien and Aliens are two of the best movies ever made, period.
Yep. Dazzle369 also reminds me of something that I was reminded of yesterday, which is how... So I can't remember who it was. Some publication wrote an editorial yesterday where they were talking about how what they're doing with Grand Theft Auto 6 marketing is what they did with Halo 3 marketing way back when.
That's true.
And we have not had another game do that since Halo 3. And they are right. I started racking my brain. I don't know if you remember or not. Halo 3 You guys did stuff on G4 for it. We did stuff for it on MTV. It was like a big takeover on Comedy Central and a bunch of other stuff. Like, it was. They do not do stuff like that anymore.
The big live thing for like 24 hours, all that stuff. I mean, I remember that because it had the big live New York thing that we had to do was 2 days after we got back from Tokyo Game Show, and no one was over the jet lag yet. Like Adam and Morgan were just like, we basically they're like, just drag us to where we need to be because we don't know where we are right now.
Yeah.
So it was, like it's the blitz and also the distance out for it. Like you don't see the mainstream blitz happening so soon is very unusual. Normally, even for big movies, you don't see that. I mean, Doomsday's doing the same thing. Doomsday's doing mainstream, promotion. 6 to 8 months before that movie comes out. That's how you know they need it.
Oh yeah,
to be what it is. Although again, they're saying that pre-orders for GTA 6 are above what they expected them to be, which makes you wonder what they expected them to be.
And they're buying the $100 version and not the $80 version, which
not me.
Me either.
I mean, I might buy that when it's time to buy the game and play it, but I'm not giving them money now. I don't like what.
That's the biggest scam. What's the point of pre-orders now? There is no point.
I mean, I guess if you want a physical edition, but it's just there's no disc in there, so what?
There's no reason at all.
And then they make so many. It's not. I mean, I still have the lockbox version of GTA 4 like sealed, and that's worth less than I paid for it.
Yeah. That's good. That's a cautionary tale for people.
Even the collector's editions of these games are about as rare as glass.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a thing you need to collect and save. Just buy it however you want.
The day it came out. Yep. So I tried to watch the new Mortal Kombat movie on HBO on Sunday night. It is awful. And it is way worse than the last one. The last one was...
That was okay.
It was okay. This new one, Matt, is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean...
Is it worse than the other sequel, Mortal Kombat? Because the Mortal Kombat Annihilation is pretty awful.
It's on the same level. It is so bad.
Like a similar drop-off kind of thing?
Oh, my God, dude. When they first introduced Johnny Cage, it looks like something we shot on X-Play, man. It is so bad. The fight choreography is terrible. You can see them missing their kicks and punches by like this much. And they didn't retake it. They put it in the film. It is so bad.
I mean, when you shoot a fight scene like that, you got to do the angle so you can't tell.
Yeah.
That's a cinematography problem.
Right, and they failed. I made it through 45 minutes, Matt. And that was it. It was offensive. It was so bad.
Was it a lot of edits to get around the choreography not being good? Like, was it cut?
No, they left them in. They left
the
poor fighting in it, and the plot was just so stupid. It was just, we're having another tournament. Okay, like why? Like it's so hilarious. The whole premise was like. What are the bad guys called? The Underworld or whatever the hell they're called. The Outlands or whatever. Outworld. The Outworld has won 10. They had a very definitive number of tournaments that they had to win in a row.
That's the lore. They got to win 10 in a row.
And then they get to take over the human world, and that's what this whole thing is about. They've won the 10th one, and now they're.
I mean, it's the same plot as the original movie, but except it's a lot easier to take when it's Christopher Lambert telling it to you.
It's so bad. So bad. I literally 45 minutes in. The costuming was embarrassing.
Yeah, I saw the costumes at the Warner Brothers Studios when I was there a few weeks ago, and I was shocked at how bad. I mean, I could tell who they were at least. The other thing, it doesn't matter on camera because you make anything look as big as however you want.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked that Scorpion is shorter than me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't seem right, does it? Like, feels like the Demon Ninja should be like 6'5" or so. Like,
Katana is one of the stars, and the actor that plays Katana is just a piece of wood. It is just bad. Like, I am so glad I didn't go to the theaters and spend money to see this. Like,
is there anything as good as the line in Annihilation where Katana sees Sindel for the first time and says, "Mother, you're alive," and Sindel says, "Too bad you will die."
No. Again, I didn't make it very far. I got about 40 minutes in. I'm like, my brain is
Annihilation is terrible, but at least it's like cheesy terrible.
That's the problem.
That's the thing
with
is like this seems to take itself so seriously that there's no room for fun.
It's that thin line of like so bad or so bad it's good.
Yeah.
And this is just so bad. Yeah.
So it's sort of like that Chun-Li movie.
Yeah. Like I can laugh at really bad movies.
I will say the Chun-Li movie, the only time I was entertained in the Chun-Li movie is when her partner showed up, and that guy, I don't remember who played him, But that guy, he either was the worst actor ever, or he completely understood what he was in and decided to fuck with it.
Yeah.
And every line he delivers, you're like, what the hell was that? Like, what? Like, I can't remember exactly what, but I just remember every time he was on screen, we watched it as like a bad movie night thing, but every time he's on screen, everyone in the room like sat up straighter because like, oh, something funny's about to happen. He's gonna do something weird now. Yeah, Legend of Chun-Li was astoundingly bad.
This movie is really bad.
I'm hoping the Street Fighter movie coming up is aware of it. It seems to be. Like, the trailer seems like they seem like they're aware of what they're making and what it should be and what the tone
This
needs
took
to
it
be.
seriously. And I saw in the news this morning that now the third movie is probably not going to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. I mean, the second one, the first one did very well, but largely because it was one of the first theatrical only releases after people got vaccinated. Mm-hmm. That was it. The other, I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong did pretty well, but that was also available on HBO Max at the same time. Mortal Kombat was only in theaters, and that was the first theatrical movie I saw after the lockdown.
And that wasn't great, but it was passable. And
Passable.
I watched that. I made it the whole way through.
And it was a lot of fun to go see a movie again. It was about the right amount of engagement I needed for the first time being in a crowd of people in like a year. You know, it was like, because I wasn't thinking about the movie that much, because I'm just like, all you people are diseased.
I die?
And it was like about right.
Yeah.
But like, even when they said they were making a sequel, I'm just like, well, that's not gonna work, because like that first one was a hit in part because of the time it happened.
Yeah.
And
this movie is way worse.
It wasn't
really
very good.
is.
I mean, I didn't think much of the first one to begin with.
I didn't either, but I made it through the whole thing and was moderately entertained at points. And
I can't remember much about it, but I don't have any bad memories of it either. So
this one, I was sitting there, and after 30 minutes, I thought to myself, this is a bad use of my time. Because I have no time to do anything.
That's how you know an entertainment product has failed, when you're trying to engage with it and your brain's just like going, you're going to die one day.
Or it's just like, stop.
Yeah,
like, you have other stuff you could be doing that's way more important and way more engaging and blah, blah, blah.
That's the same thing I'm saying. It's like, you have limited time on this earth and you're spending it doing this.
Don't.
Go do something else.
And that's what I did. I just turned it off. I was like, I'm good. And I walked away. Maybe you guys have more disposable time than I do. My time is very precious. And I was like, no moss.
We'll get to another example of that later in the show.
Yeah, we will, actually. You're right. That's a good point. A final update, maybe not final, but we're not going to talk about it as a full-on topic in this week's episode after 2 straight weeks of talking about it. But another sort of footnote in the whole PlayStation killing physical games saga from this week is that now PlayStation has started distributing consoles with stickers on them that tell the people that physical games are going away in 2028.
I think they're committed to it, folks.
I think that might be the final nail in the coffin. There are stickers on PlayStation 5 consoles now if you go buy one in the store.
Somewhere out there, someone's coping with, it's like, well, until they start printing them on the boxes, it's not really real.
I mean, that is the final straw. There's nothing left at this point. Like, the no disc, no buy people, I hate to say it, it's probably time to just give it up.
Yeah.
Like,
the next printing of the boxes are going to officially change the name of the console to PlayStation 5 has no discs.
Yeah. It's time for you to do what I did with the Mortal Kombat movie and realize that it is not a good use of your time, and maybe shift it over to digital ownership and start pushing towards that more, because that's the only thing that has a chance. So
I'm waiting for when GTA comes out. Do you think someone's going to do an edit of that Ghostbusters scene in the mayor's office where they change it so Bill Murray says, "Yes, sir, it's true. This game has no disc."
Yeah, maybe that'd be pretty clever. Actually.
Discless here wanted to charge me for a physical product without giving me any kind of physical media. It's like, is this true? Yes, Your Honor, it is. This game has no disc.
Yep. Well, in the midst of all the insanity that's been going on at Xbox, Matt, they still had QuakeCon this week.
Yeah.
And people didn't even know what was going on for the most part.
I only knew it was going on because a guy I follow who does like recompilations of PC games was there, and he did was trying to do like a charity stream, and Twitch completely shut it down and took all the money that was donated or something. Some like disaster.
I saw that. Thing. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
There's
exactly
something funky going on there. But they did have QuakeCon this week, and there was actually a kind of a big story that came out of it. Out of nowhere, a brand new addition to the first Quake was launched. It is called Quake Dawn of the Machines, and if you own Quake, you can get it for free. Matt, I'm sure I own Quake. I know.
Yeah, everybody owns
I know
Quake
I have
somewhere.
bought it, been given it, whatever. I know I own Quake. I could not find where I own Quake.
I own Quake on Steam. I know that.
Do you?
Some bundle I got had all the Quake games in it, and it's in there.
I'm sure I got it somewhere along the line with free games with gold or PSN
Humble Bundle or something.
Humble Bundle or Twitch stuff. Twitch gives away so many free games but I could not find it. I do wonder, it would be interesting, Matt, to go through all those collections that I have across Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, and have a master list of every game I own and where it is. Whether it's a physical game, whether it's a digital game, and what service is it on. Things are so crazy, and you get so many free games now, you can't even keep track of what you have anymore. It's freaking nuts. But this is cool. Machine Games made this. The developers behind Wolfenstein. They went and made an expansion for the first Quake to launch at QuakeCon, which I think is pretty freaking cool. Would you go back and play Quake?
Maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, probably not go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll go back and be, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
There's a Quake 4 thing, too.
I missed that, actually.
That might have been this morning, or maybe it was yesterday.
What did they do?
Somebody bought a used computer, and installed on it was a canceled Quake 4 expansion that never came out.
What?
And they uploaded it, and now you can get this Quake 4 expansion that was never released.
Are you kidding me?
It's this guy bought a used computer, and it had this on it.
I totally missed that. I have not seen that at all. Interesting.
I just saw that this morning.
Oh, okay. Must have came through the wire after I left to come over here. But wow, that's cool too. So yeah, in the midst of all the stuff that's going on with the Xbox reset and all the layoffs, there was a good-hearted story that's come out of the midst of all this stuff. Now, I went back and looked, though, and you would be surprised, actually. Machine Games actually made an update to the first Quake 5 years ago.
Yeah.
For another anniversary for Quake. And so it has only been 5 years. I missed that one 5 years ago somehow. But I thought it was really cool that they are still supporting an old game like this and put a lot of work into something that they're basically just giving away for free. Because, Matt, nobody's going to go buy Quake to play this.
I mean, Quake's, what, $5 now? If
yeah.
that? You can buy Quake.
You can, but I don't think anybody's going to just to play an expansion to a game that's 30 years old.
It's clearly for people who love Quake.
Yeah.
And
they have Quake.
At some point, if you had nostalgia for Quake, you probably bought a cheap copy on Steam at some point.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool story. Again, with all the stuff going on at Bethesda, with all the layoffs, and Bethesda particularly kind of getting raked over the coals with how it handled some of that stuff, this was a heartwarming story, and I was surprised to see. And then the final story for today's housekeeping is something that just happened this morning. PlayStation announced a special PlayStation 5 for Marvel's Wolverine. This trailer shows both a gold and a silver variant. I haven't been able to tell if the silver is the Pro and the gold is the base PS5, but it does seem like there are going to be plates, or these plates are going to come out for both base PS5 and PS5 Pro. It's going to cost $700 or $900. It feels like this stuff doesn't matter anymore because no one's buying consoles. Maybe you get people to buy the plates though.
Plates, maybe, yeah.
To put on their existing consoles. What do you think of the look of the console and the controller?
I don't really like yellow very much.
Well, it's black and gold Pittsburgh colors, so I don't mind the color scheme.
It looks more yellow.
Yeah, it's not gold.
It's Wolverine yellow.
You're good though. Most people think Pittsburgh is black and yellow, but Pittsburgh is black and gold. That's impressive.
I only know that because I know you.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that too. So it goes way back to the materials that are used to make steel. So the black on the helmet is the coal, and the gold is iron ore. Most Steeler fans do not know that.
Iron and coke, chromium steel.
Yeah, yep. Look, I generally hate consoles like this. They're just
it's a cool look. I would be more tempted if it was. It's weird because I prefer his yellow and black suit, but I would be more tempted by this version if it was brown and black. If it was the brown and yellow black coloring of the earlier suit. Yeah. I know the yellow is actually his original suit, but I think of the brown. When I started reading X-Men, he was wearing the brown. Yeah. And then he switched to the yellow in the Jim Lee era, which I do like that one better. Yeah. But I think the brown color scheme would work better on a video game console.
This console may end up being worth a lot of money someday because
Probably is,
no one's going to buy it.
Yeah, Billy Bo Baggins says the slash is where he cut the disc drive out.
I do think that the plates that they're selling do have the cutout for the disc drive if you want.
Well, I mean, I would think about it if it was easy to get because they do have the Pro with the disc attachment. We'll see. There was another. It wasn't announced. It was a leak of another special edition system this morning, Zelda, and I actually think those look real good.
Yeah, it's got like the Triforce on the
Triforce
dock,
but it's a deeper gold and a darker green than I was expecting, and
Yeah.
I think the controller looks really good.
Well, so it's two Joy-Con.
I wouldn't buy another Switch 2, but
Yeah.
that controller looks great.
Yep. So there's a black Joy-Con and a forest green Joy-Con, which you've not been able to buy either one of those to this point. So
Yeah.
I'm sure people will be wanting to snatch those up.
Well, I want the Pro controller.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's a Pro controller too, which I haven't got yet. So maybe I should pick that one up instead of the one that's out there, the default one that I got you, actually.
You did.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
And that thing holds a charge for months.
I've been using my old Pro controller. They still won't let you wake up the Switch 2 with the old
it's
Pro
weird,
controller. They just want you to buy the new one for that feature. It's really dirty, if you ask me. And Swan Senpai says Wolverine comes with a code, not a disc. In the bundle, you're saying, Swan Senpai? Because they also announced today that Wolverine will come. The full game will be on the disc.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to, if you get it, you don't need to download anything. You'll be able to play all of the game just off of the disc on day one. Now they'll
update it.
Right,
Yeah.
They'll update it eventually, but
We'll update it day one. All these things always have a day one.
So in that case, you are getting the disc. So I guess you're saying in the bundle it doesn't come with the
would
disc?
just be a code. They have nowhere in the box to put a disc case.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Which
They've been doing that forever. With Horizon Forbidden West bundle was just a code. That's standard.
And then today, Eurogamer made a huge mistake and posted its preview of Marvel's Wolverine.
What?
It wasn't very encouraging, Matt.
No?
No, they were very critical of it.
In a preview. Eurogamer gonna Eurogame.
Even the headline had a critical thing, saying it was like, the headline was like, Insomniac's Wolverine is like brutal, gritty, and entirely expected, something like that. Basically saying that the game is what we expected it to be. And if you dug into it, they took some shots at it in there.
I mean, I don't really expect this to be much more than a very well executed hack and slash game.
They compared it to Uncharted.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the vibe we're getting. I think, especially as soon as they say it's not open world, you're like, okay, so this is an Uncharted series of, set pieces basically, which is fine. I mean, that's a fine way to approach a Wolverine game. Like that's the best Wolverine game ever made. Is that basically? Yeah. The Wolverine Origins game.
Yeah, the preview was up for 5 or 10 minutes before they realized they had made the mistake, and I made the mistake of not copying and pasting all the information because I thought they just published theirs first, and all these other previews were going to come. I got through like the whole rundown in the admin of all the stuff that was in there, and nobody else had previewed it. I was like, wait a minute, like there are no other previews. And so I went back. I was like, they must have made a mistake, and I hit 404, and I was like, oh, they did make a mistake. That is a huge F up, man.
Whoops.
That's the kind of stuff that'll get you fired.
Yeah.
Doing something like that with a game that big, because Sony, man, like they pull your marketing, like it could end your website, like. That was a huge,
well, they can luckily
mistake.
We're just Eurogamer. Nobody's reading us.
This one senpai says they hate games I like, so it's encouraging for me. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Eurogamer and PC Gamer, like they're kind of the contrarian reviews out there. They always review things lower. So some people like that stuff.
Since
though.
we don't have Edge anymore, somebody.
Yeah, you're right. Someone had to fill the void. Some people like it though. So some people are like, okay, there's 8 reviews that gush all over the game. I'll read or watch 2 of those, but I would like to read a more critical one.
Sure. It's just the problem is when I read the critical Eurogamer reviews, I generally think like, why is this so important to you? It's not. Yeah. It's almost never useful criticism to me. It's just sort of like they pick one weird thing to harp on, and like just that's the center of the whole review. And sometimes it's just like something as weird as like, the stripes on his outfit don't like match this thing, and that really is emblematic of all the problems in the gameplay design. It's like, is it? Because I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Like I can
read a Eurogamer review and not know whether they like the game or not.
Not really know anything about the game.
I'll say this: they do put a focus on writing And the writing, like the vocabulary and stuff like that, is probably the best in the industry. But at the end of the day, the point of a review is to let people know if they should buy a game or not. Yeah, and after reading their reviews, I don't know.
The vocabulary is there, but the intent is lacking sometimes. Like a lot of times Eurogamer reviews, and I don't pay attention enough to know if it's specific writers or not. Like I haven't really researched this. I just sort of read them every once in a while. They come across
something that is not worth your time.
They just come across the SIFT every once in a while, sort of thing, and like they talk a lot and they don't say anything.
That's exactly right. That's a good way to put it.
Get out of it. And
we actually don't curate their reviews anymore.
Yeah, and I don't expect. I mean, Wolverine. I don't expect it to blow me away the way Spider-Man 1 did. I expect it to be the best X-Men game ever made, but that is not really saying much. I mean, especially if you're leaving off the fighting games, which I generally do. Yeah. You know, like that's not the same.
Not really fair.
Yeah, it's fun to play as Storm in a fighting game, but it's not the same as playing an X-Men game, right? I guess I'd say the high bar is probably Wolverine Origins or maybe people love the X-Men Legends games. I'm not as much enamored of those and the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. I think they're fun, but they're not. They're just sort of repetitive and nonsensical.
Yeah.
If you are out there praising Marvel Ultimate Alliance to the skies and you think this Wolverine game is too repetitive, I don't need you to talk to me anymore. Because what are you doing? I expect it to be an extremely highly incompetent Uncharted style game with Wolverine, hopefully with an interesting story that has a new twist in some of these things, and I'm looking forward to seeing like the Insomniac attention to detail and care in kind of user experience happen. You know, you already see it in some of this footage where all the variety in combat animations and the jumping off things and landing and all the stuff that feels very in character, all the animations happening. I love after he finishes the fight, he like does that thing and like gets the blood off his claws before he retracts them. It's like that's a great little touch. Like because
it's like the axe coming back in God of War.
Yeah,
it's like the same thing.
Well, because it's also like people are like, he's got healing. Yeah, but you don't want other people's blood going into your arm. It's like even if you do have a mutant healing fact, it's gross. Like he's got standards. Come on.
That's funny.
By the same token, all the times in the comics where they show him using his claws to like cut the meatloaf or the roast he's made or the hot dog, I'm like, I'm not eating that. That was just in your fucking body, dude. Like, no, you got a fucking knife, man. Like, fucking mutant weirdos.
This one senpai got modded here. I'll allow it. All he said was F off. I was too late. Oh, here we go.
It's there. But they did figure out the Gene thing. Cyclops and Gene have been a throuple for a while now. And he and Cyclops figured it out. They're fucking...
Yeah, they've had Masa convos about that.
Yeah, they have a joint... when they were all living on the space station for a while, they had adjoining rooms.
Right. That's right. I forgot about that.
It worked out real well for everyone. It was nice. It was a nice time. It's not like everything's all fucked up again because that's just what the X-Men do, Yeah. It's like Peter Parker. You can't have a good life for more than like 3 issues.
Yep. All right, well, that's all for housekeeping. I told you we had a bunch of housekeeping in today's episode. We're about to get into the heart of GameFace 492, but before we do, I want to remind you that we're supported at patreon.com/SIFTD. That's SIFTD if you're listening to this show on a podcast service. $5 a month gets you all our content early. It's a great deal. You get a big exclusivity window on our content before it goes free on our YouTube channel. Check it out if you can. That'd be cool. You can help us out with Twitch Prime. And in fact, I have not gone through and thanked people for Twitch Prime yet in our chat. I'm going to do that after I finish this. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can give us a free $2.50 every stinking month. You do have to redo it every month, which is a pain. We get it. But it makes a big difference for us. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, go down below. And you can read in the description step-by-step instructions on how to do that. And if you can't do that, you can still help us. Just like the show, comment on the show, share the show on social media. That's really the best thing you can do. Just go on Twitter or whatever social media platform, Facebook, and be like, hey, this is my favorite gaming podcast. If you like gaming, check it out. We would really appreciate that. That would be really, really cool. Okay, let me jump in chat real quick so I can thank people. And we got a question over on YouTube from Bachby. Given we don't get digital ownership ever and the dynamic pricing for the future, should you stop putting games in your wish list on PlayStation and Xbox? I mean, I think that's good for people who are looking for gifts over the holidays or for their birthdays. Like, to me, that's what wish lists are for. I don't really use them for myself. Although on Amazon, I will say sometimes I'll stumble across something and I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. I'll put it on my wish list just so I don't forget about it.
Yeah, the only Steam is really the only wish list I use. And that's literally just, like you say, to keep track of things I want later so I don't forget it. Because some of them are like these little indie games that are like, coming soon. And like you're like, oh, I added that to my wish list 5 years ago and it's still not out kind of thing. So I just use it to keep track of stuff. And actually, I'm glad they added categorization now, because now I can put a bunch of stuff in like a category. I'm like, don't buy this for me. I'm just watching this one. I don't mean I want it yet. I'm just keeping an eye on it. A lot of space games I don't know how they're going to turn out yet. You know?
Justin Horman, thank you. One of our most awesome fans here at SIFTD. Appreciate you subscribing at tier 3. That is awesome. 110 months. Thank you, Justin. You the man. Not Cirque, thank you for Twitch Prime. Who else we got in here? Rosencrantz, thank you for tier 1. We're at level 3 of the hype train. That's awesome. We haven't done that in a really long time. Thank you. Who else we got up in here giving us the Twitch Prime? I knew I saw a couple at least at the beginning. Yep, Emperor Dread, thank you. That's awesome. Who else we got? I think there's a couple more here somewhere. Big chat so far for the show already. Mr. Christian the Mutineer, thank you. That's awesome. 8 months, 4-month streak. You rock. Who else we got? Wow, the chat's going off today. You guys are really, really talky today on this Tuesday. Noxatornitis reminds us that people do have friends with other consoles, and maybe that's how they played Halo back in the day.
And Halo's not that long. Also, you don't have to play all of Halo.
Right, you can just loan it to them for half a day, and they can play through it. Big Smoke 82.
Just get to the library and come back to me.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Pretty much. There's any more. I think that might be it. Wow, the chat. You guys are going off today. Just going off. Yep, I think that's it. All right. Get the chat back down to the bottom here so when we come back. Oh, I don't know. Twitch's chat interface is so goofy. I wish the hype train stuff was a little less obnoxious. We just hit level 4 thanks to Liberal Hack.
Just hit the chat pause to scroll button. Just hit that. It'll scroll you all the way down.
Awesome. Thank you, Liberal Hack. You just put us over the top to level 4 complete. You the man. Thank you. Rosencrantz says there's going to be something eclipse tomorrow in my backyard.
Solar.
Oh, you're welcome to join Shane and Matt. Where are you? You got some beers for us when we come over? What? I'll bring the LS Cream. We'll have a good old time checking out the eclipse. Okay. Thank you, Liberal Hack, again. That's awesome. You came in and dropped some stuff last week, too, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, he's in Iceland. That explains it.
Who is?
Rosencrantz. He's in Iceland. We are not getting the eclipse.
I think they have a solar eclipse almost every day there, don't they? I'm joking, but
they have auroras.
Yeah, their skies there are quite amazing.
And free cars.
Yeah. Okay, we're ready to get into the bulk of GameFace, episode 492. But before we do that, of course, here's a word from our awesome sponsor, LS Cream. It's LS Cream, the fine cream liqueur crafted by fellow gamer and sifter Stevens Charles. Inspired by the Haitian drink crémasse, LS Cream delivers an award-winning experience with every single pour. One sip and you'll see why. It's a party favorite. The silky blend of fresh cream and premium neutral grain spirits mixes great with everything. I dare you to put a shot in your coffee. I've been drinking it for years and still, I find new combinations that taste incredible. LS Cream is the kind of drink that keeps surprising you thanks to its notes of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut. Take it to any gathering and watch it steal the spotlight. We've never seen anyone resist. Ready to join the fan club? Head to creamls.com/sifted for recipes, retailers, and online orders. That's creamls.com/sifted. Man, those drinks in that commercial look delicious and refreshing. Go to creamls.com/sifted and become a part of the Cream Team and cray mass dat ass. In fact, this week we had somebody who went to do that who lives in Wisconsin, and they had an issue finding bottles in Wisconsin, believe it or not. They couldn't find them locally, and they could not find a place to ship them to them. And I'm just going to tell you,
not being able to find alcohol in Wisconsin is an unusual problem.
It is, yes. And I'll just tell you, Stevens Charles personally responded to this person looking for LS Cream and hook them up with a link to get LS Cream. That's how awesome the crew is at LS Cream. Like, they are on it. They are there to help you. They want you to enjoy LS Cream, and you should enjoy LS Cream. Go to creamls.com/sifted. Drink recipes. Like I said, places to find it. If you can't find it, you can send me a DM and just say, hey, I live here. I'm trying to find it. I can't. And I will forward that along to Stevens Charles, and he will help you out personally. Good people over at LS Cream. Go to creamls.com/sifted. Sign up for the LS Cream 5K challenge. You can win $5,000 making your own drink. There's all kinds of cool stuff to do over there. Again, go to creamls.com/sifted. All right, it's time to get on with GameFace 492 proper. And we're going to start with our VideoGame.Town headline of the week. VideoGame.Town is a brand new independent gaming website, just like Sifted, not owned by any corporation or a bunch of rich people. They're people who love games that are trying to make it happen. Their URL is VideoGame.Town, .TOWN, part of that new generation of URLs you can use for your websites.
Hype Train Level 5.
What'd you say?
Hype Train Level 5.
Level 5, oh my gosh. All right. We haven't had that in so long. That is getting a freaking round of applause. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Tiny2K, thank you for getting us over the top. Amazing. Thank you. It has been... Oh, we're at level 6? 86?
We're 86% to level 6.
I didn't even know that there was a level 6.
I think it
They bumped
used
it
to
up.
be 5, and now I think it might go infinite now. I don't know.
Wow. Thank you, guys. This is incredible.
Nothing stops this train.
Apparently not. Thank you, guys. Man, it's been a long time since we've had this happen. That's awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
There it is.
There it is,
Here's
100%. I got to get a chat so everyone can see what's going on here. Hype! That's awesome. Thanks, guys. We really can use it right now. That really means a lot. Thank you. I mean it. From my heart. Level 7, 10%. I choo-choo-choo-choo, Swan Senpai says. Thank you, guys. That's really awesome. Anyway, back to VideoGame.Town. You guys are supporting us right now. That's awesome. There's other people that are independent that are doing good stuff. VideoGame.Town is one of those websites. They are picking up people who are laid off from all these big publications because I mentioned earlier, private equity is buying them up and basically closing them down. VideoGame.Town is picking those people back up and giving them work and paying them very well for it. Go to VideoGame.Town. If you like the written word and you like video games, head on over there. Check out their content. Check out their podcast. Check out their Patreon. Go to VideoGame.Town. And they sponsor our headline of the week. And our headline of the week for this week is Grand Theft Auto 6. I have a feeling, Matt, that from today forward, we're going to be doing a lot of topics on Grand Theft Auto 6. Mm-hmm. So the big story from this week is that the next media from Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be debuted on Netflix. They're not giving it to a major gaming publication. They're not giving it exclusively to YouTube. They are not working with Amazon Prime.
They're putting it on a subscription service.
They are putting it behind a paywall. And Matt, this took me back in time to when I first started working at Game Trailers and the website was blowing up. And a lot of it, honestly, on the heels of Assassin's Creed. For whatever reason, as that franchise blew up, so did Game Trailers. And people were coming and watching. Like, I think the first trailer for Assassin's Creed did like 4 million views. And back then, that was unheard of. And Ubisoft was like, wow, like what is going on over there at Game Trailers? And so they summoned us up to San Francisco to meet with them about Assassin's Creed. And so it was me and my boss, and then the guy who is our GM, who is kind of like doing my job more on the biz dev side. So the three of us went up there and sat down in a meeting with Ubisoft, and everybody at Ubisoft was there. It was in their big conference room. There was probably 30 people in that room with the three of us. And at first they just praised us. You guys are blowing up. Like, you guys are helping us promote our games. We love you guys, blah, blah, blah. Everyone loves Game Trailers. About 30 minutes in, they started floating their ideas. And their idea was to make us pay them to run trailers for Assassin's Creed. They had went and looked at the views for the game and what the CPM was on game trailers, because they knew, because they advertise on game trailers, and they figured out how much money we had made off of the trailers for Assassin's Creed, and were upset about it and said that we want you to start paying us for the trailers. And we just laughed them out of the room. We were like, what? Are you insane? We're like, no, we're not paying you for trailers. We're helping you out. We're promoting your game to like 5 million people. And they got it. They're like, okay, we just figured we'd ask.
Yeah, nice try.
Yeah, we're like, no, we'll just put someone else's trailer in the top slot for the day. What are you talking about? Like, they had no clue what they were saying. I cannot believe they summoned us there for that. So anyway, this reminds me of that. Rockstar, though, has the weight and has the media that makes it almost worth it. Like, if Rockstar had come to us and said, hey, will you pay us to get the exclusive on Grand Theft Auto 4 trailers? We might have. For Assassin's Creed, no. But for Grand Theft Auto, we might have. And that is what you're seeing here with Netflix. Netflix has given Rockstar, Take-Two, whatever, a lot of money to run this exclusively.
Well, to run it, premiere it exclusively, because it is going on YouTube. 6 hours later.
Yeah. So a lot of people are confused about, is it actually 6 hours long, which I don't think.
No, that's the timing on it.
Yeah. My guess is it's probably like 30 minutes, like a behind the scenes. I mean,
I'm going to say it's 20 to 30.
Yeah. I don't think it's just going to be a trailer.
No, there'll be interview, it'll be a presentation. It'll be like a making of sort of thing.
Right. Where a lot of people will hear Sam Hauser talk for the first time. Seriously. A lot of people, he could show up in that show without a lower third, and people probably wouldn't know who he was. I mean, that is how reclusive and inaccessible he is. So if he's in this, people are going to hear him talk for like the first time. Like, you can dig up really old interviews, like from DNA Design days where he did interviews back then. Like, I think Grand Theft Auto 3 or San Andreas, I think he did like stuff. He would go out and talk. After that, though, no. He just doesn't do stuff anymore.
Yeah, so there was sort of this thing of like the games speak for us.
Right.
We don't need this.
But my guess is he's going to be in this along with a bunch of other developers. You're going to get to look inside Rockstar games for the first time ever.
It might just be footage.
It could be. It could just be a trailer. It really could just be a gameplay.
Because here's the thing, I think this was supposed to be in a Sony thing originally.
Like for Naughty 3 or something like that?
For like, they were going to do something like a Sony Direct sort of thing. And now they don't want to mess with Sony because of the disc thing.
That could be.
So they went to a different partner.
Or it could just be Netflix is offering more money.
Could be.
That's probably what it is.
But it's such a weird outside case thing. I know it's like more mainstream, maybe you could argue.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling I don't think this was originally earmarked for Netflix. I think this was probably supposed to be partnered with Sony originally, and now they're just like, we're not touching you. You're too
toxic right now. Yeah. Even though they've contributed to the toxicity.
Oh, sure.
They're the first ones that said we're not going to give you a physical version of GTA 6.
Yeah, they are kind of spearheading it, but like that. They just don't want to remind anybody of that.
Yeah. And so, how do you think this is going to play out, Matt? So it's going to go up on Netflix on the 27th.
Yeah.
People who are already Netflix subscribers will watch it. Do you think it's going to get people to subscribe to Netflix just to watch it?
No.
No?
Not for that amount of time.
But people may figure, I'll get it for a month. Do they do free trials still on Netflix?
Yeah, but only if you never had one before. Who doesn't have one before?
I mean, you could give them a new email address, right?
I guess, but like, who cares?
Do you think people will do that? I think they will.
I don't think so.
People are crazy over this game. Like, I don't know if I think
sure, but
the craziest fanboys are Rockstar fanboys.
The craziest fanboys are Zack Snyder fanboys.
Okay.
Because at least the Rockstar games are pretty good.
I mean, in gaming, yeah. But I hear you.
Also, the craziest fanboys in gaming are Kojima fanboys.
Yeah, because they're really delusional.
Yes.
Yeah. You may be right. They can't see reality.
When I think of a Rockstar fanboy, I don't really think of a normal fanboy. I think of like just a guy who likes video games but only plays 3 of them.
Right.
You know? Like,
yeah.
He plays this every time.
I think of all my uncles.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, my mental picture is probably wrong in that the person I should be picturing is much older now.
Yeah. But, 40s, 50s.
It's just, but you know, a Rockstar fan is like one of the guys you'd meet in a bar when you're introduced to a bunch of other people, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I play. You work in video games? I play video games." Like, well, he plays FIFA and he plays Madden,
GTA
and he plays
Online,
GTA, and he plays Call of Duty. You know, it's like
yeah. I mean, we've met many of those people through the years.
The ball and gun gamer, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, that is the vast majority of gamers. Seriously, like we make a very
those are the people that make this what it is.
Yeah.
Make this the tens of millions sold it is.
We're the ones that make games like Pragmata a hit.
Yeah.
And create new IP. And they're the ones that send that new IP into the stratosphere. That's pretty much how it works. But how do you think fans are going to take this? Already, they seem very angry over this. That Rockstar would put their meat... Because, these people are nuts, man. They
just watch it later in the day.
But they can't handle that. They cannot. These people...
Well, they're gonna, and they're still gonna buy the game, so who cares? Like, it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't change anything. Go ahead and yell about it. Who gives a shit? Rockstar didn't give a shit.
Well, it could change if other publishers, developers are thinking about doing stuff like this in the future. Maybe they second-guess that decision.
Who's gonna do that?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other game capable of doing something like this. No. Maybe The Last of Us 3.
Maybe, but Sony wouldn't want to deal with Netflix on something.
They would work with HBO or something.
They do their own thing,
but they could still put it behind a paywall. But
also, none of Sony's things are friendly enough with anything for that. Like, you'd have to talk to a different division that has a relationship with HBO Max, and no one wants to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's look, we are, like I said earlier, this is something that doesn't happen anymore. Like what they're doing with GTA 6, it hasn't happened since Halo 3. Yeah. Like,
in the end,
do you think it works still?
I don't think this is precedented in that regard, because Halo 3 did not have anything equivalent to this. I think this is probably just they want the Netflix splash screen to be GTA 6 for a day.
Well, it did the takeover on G4, on Comedy Central, and two other MTV networks.
But
where
you add all those together,
day.
and you maybe get half of the number of people that would see this on Netflix.
That's true.
Now.
That's true.
Like I guess the same idea, but the scale is completely incomparable.
It really is. It's almost incomprehensible.
Yeah.
In all honesty, the amount of people that are going to watch it. It would do better on YouTube, and I do think the 6-hour window is maybe a little bit too long.
I don't think so. It's enough time to watch it when you get home from work or whatever. Whenever they put it up, who knows? It's just enough time to make you want to tune in and not wait that long. But it's short enough that everyone who hears about it after the fact can just go watch it on YouTube, and you don't lose anything.
Well, if you don't think that it's going to drive subs for Netflix, why do you think Netflix is doing it?
Just another reason for people to load up Netflix. Another reason to see what those people watch next. That's what they want. Is they want data. Mm-hmm. Netflix's whole thing is when you watch this big thing. When you watch the show or the segment, whatever the hell you want to call this, for the biggest entertainment product of all time, which is probably what this is going to be.
It will be. Yeah.
What do you watch? What do these people watch next?
Yeah.
That is why they want this.
What does that audience want to watch?
That is what Netflix wants to know. So all this is probably worth it to them just to have that metric.
I would also argue that they're probably going to sit in meetings for a good 2 days trying to figure out what they put in that queue after
it's going to be very, very, very interesting. And that's going to be very specific to each viewer.
Right. They'll look at the demographics.
Because it does look at your algorithm and what you've watched. But they are going to try to figure out what people are going to look at next. Because they make creative decisions on that. There are various people who have made sequels.
They'll greenlight a show.
Famously, I still can never remember the name of the movie, but it was a rom-com. It was a rom-com movie with family thing, and it did really well. So Netflix greenlit a sequel for it, but they told the director and the writers, the most of some huge percentage of the people who watched your movie, the next thing they watched was an Italian travel video. So the or European travel videos shows. So the sequel has to take place in Europe. So they did. They said in Italy, and that was a. But literally how Netflix makes these decisions. I assure you that the metrics of what people watch one after another, what you let autoplay next, even is very important to them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what they're after is. You get this data about the people that were, because if you only have it up 6 hours, you're getting very much the people who, A, pay attention to this stuff, B, are on the cutting edge of game news and sort of what this game is doing and when it's happening, and when they're the ones who are going to kind of disseminate the word about a lot of this stuff. You're talking about tastemakers to some degree. Yeah. And you're talking about a demographic that you don't get all in one place for a normal Netflix show very often. So this is very new data and could be very valuable to them if they can play the cards right, because you don't get this audience all in the same place on one of these streaming services very often, if ever. Yeah. So I think that's what's interesting about it to Netflix.
The other thing, too, that's a good point, Matt. The other thing, too, is that Strauss Zelnick, Take-Two CEO, said that they were like, well, what kind of marketing can we expect from this game going forward? And they were asking him about how
they're just like, yes.
Yes, pretty much. They were asking him about how they did Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember that game and the trailers for it. They were the driest,
yeah, they weren't
most boring.
There's a lot of people riding horses across things.
It was just narration. He's
and
like,
talking,
and then you can grab your gun out of the holster, but you need to make sure that, and it was just like this boring, drab, narrated stuff. And I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing for Grand Theft Auto 6. And they were wondering that too and asking him. They're like, so what's the promotion going to look like? And he said, well, I'll just put it to you this way. He's like, this is the hors d'oeuvre, and then there's an appetizer, and then there's a side dish, and then there's the entree. And so he basically said, like, batten down the hatches, like, here comes Grand Theft Auto 6. Like,
but it also kind of indicates that whatever this is, maybe don't set that expectation bar too high.
Right.
It's just the hors d'oeuvre.
That's why I wondered if it could just be a gameplay trailer. Like the first time they just show in-game footage. I mean, that's a big freaking deal, man. Showing the game being played instead of just showing pre-rent, like, cutscenes or whatever, which is what they've done so far. So there's a lot of weight behind the first gameplay trailer. It could really just be that.
It could be.
I hope it's not, but it could be.
It would also explain why it's only up for 6 hours if it's like a 3-minute thing.
Right.
Because that's plenty of time for lots of people to watch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, you got to remember, what's going to happen is people are going to record it off of Netflix.
And instantly put it up.
Yeah, and the little local yokel people are going to get all the views from those that trailer or whatever it is first.
I mean, they'll be struck immediately.
I mean, Rockstar's going to try to swat it down. I'm sure they've already fingerprinted the video with YouTube and blah, blah, blah. But they'll just take it to those Asian video sites or whatever. Like, you can't stop it. And Rockstar knows this. Like, I think maybe it just wants it to be a shit show, in all honesty. Because that's a story that people talk about. Like, I think maybe they want it to be crazy. Like, that's Rockstar. That's kind of the stuff that Rockstar does. He also said, Strauss Zelnick, that pre-orders for GTA 6 have been, quote, unprecedented and astounding, unquote. And we mentioned earlier that he also said that the $100 version is vastly outselling the $80 version, which again makes Pachter seem kind of right, saying it was going to cost $100. But it's I mean, to your point, Matt, I don't know if we will have ever seen anything like what's about to happen with Grand Theft Auto 6. And like when I said when we first started tackling this topic, we may have Grand Theft Auto 6 in this show until November 19th. Like it could be an IV drip of stuff to where, and that would be smart, to have a podcast about video games talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 every single week.
What they want is CNN to talk about it.
Right.
They want is all the talk shows to talk about it.
And I do wonder if they thought about, if we don't sell a real physical version of this, maybe we don't get those stories on CNN of people camping out, waiting for GTA, and the mad mob scene as people rush in to get it. Like, that stuff's all gone now. So,
well, here are the things. I think that's still going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because you know what most of the people that are ordering the physical version are doing? Shipping it.
You're right. They're not even going in and getting it.
They're not going to a store.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Things have changed so much. So it will be interesting to see if sort of these old school marketing things that Rockstar has been doing very well with for its entire history, if those are still going to work in 2026. And I think Rockstar and Take-Two are about to find out. So,
well, they seem to be so far.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, I hope the thing on Netflix on the 27th gives us everything. I hope it's 2 hours long and it blows the whole damn game out. No. It's not going to happen. A man can dream, but it's not going to happen. A tiny blip in history says physical. You want to fit a 300 gigabyte game on discs. I mean, even Grand Theft Auto, I don't think it's going to be 300 gigabytes. It'll be 150, 200 probably.
Be up there,
yeah. And then what is the max for a Blu-ray disc?
I want to say it's in the 70 range.
70 gigs?
70, something like that.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you're starting to layer this stuff a little too crazy.
Yeah. You may have problems with reading and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't fit most of the big modern games on one disc.
Yeah. Ryan H. says, didn't it leak that it's going to be 20 minutes for Netflix customer support? I didn't see that at all, Ryan.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm neck deep in gaming news.
My initial reaction was probably like a 20 to 30 minute thing.
I mean, that's what I think it's going to be.
But you're right. It could just be the trailer.
Yeah.
With the gameplay footage.
I don't think people would complain.
They would, but
but
it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like this game.
None of it matters.
This game is bulletproof in a way that nothing else
ever has been, and never will be again.
It could just be. It could be a 20-minute video of Sam Hauser flipping you off, and it wouldn't affect anything.
Yep. Swan Senpai says plenty of games have 2 Blu-rays. I've not seen a 2 Blu-ray game. Have you?
No, but I haven't bought a disc game in forever.
I do buy them, but most big AAA games are just one disc still. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's there's a download.
Unless there's like there's some games I know I had like a play disc and an install disc.
Yeah, sometimes you're right. They'll have like the separate install disc and the other one that you put in while you're actually playing.
I want to say Witcher 3 did that.
Maybe.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And those weren't Blu-rays.
Doesn't Rebirth come on too? I don't know. Square Enix sends us their code for review. So
wouldn't surprise me if it was.
That would be one that probably would be, if I had to guess. Red Dead has a data game and a play disc, which could be the same for GTA for sure. Red Dead Redemption 2 was Blu-ray. Ashes reminds us.
Because I think Witcher 3 is one disc now that it's on Blu-ray.
Single Times Any says single layer Blu-ray is 25 gigs. So dual layer get you to 50.
I think you can cram around 70 on there.
If you want to push it. Let's see what else we got here. If it's GTA 6 or no disc for the next few months, I'll take GTA 6 any day. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that Times Any. I
mean, I wouldn't have bought it on disc anyway. So
I would have.
I didn't care.
I'm the only one left that buys physical games. And there's people overpaying for eBay pre-orders. Andy T. Monahan. People are... What?
They're buying pre-orders for this thing like over retail. It's very weird.
Why?
FOMO, like
what
just
the hell?
There's a thing going on with that with a Pokemon thing right now,
Really?
Pokemon card thing right now, where like they're taking pre-orders for it, and it's print to order. Like as many pre-orders as they get, they'll make that many plus whatever for replacements. It's usually, and like there's resellers, scalpers basically reselling. I think it's like $295, and then like they're reselling it for like $1,000 for pre-order. And people are buying. It's like, no, just pre-order it normally, and you'll get. There's no shortage of these as long as you get your pre-order, and then the pre-orders are still open or something. But people are still buying like scalper prices. Bizarre.
I'll say just if you like getting in and out of cars, this button is for you.
Yeah.
he's like spoofing the Red Dead trailers for GTA.
Well, he's also spoofing my Molyneux story.
Oh right.
It's like if you like ranged combat, then what is the Y button? It's the button for you. I don't know why. It was hypnotic.
Yeah.
Should have brought in Molyneux to do the GTA 6 video.
Yeah.
So it's like if you've never been to Florida, it will be like you were there.
But you don't want to be there.
But you don't have to smell it.
Fridays 100 says, you guys have said the word Netflix 50 times. That's what it's worth.
That too, yeah.
He's right. I mean, every podcast this week is going to be talking about
this. That's right. Don't underestimate the streamer wars. They're still on.
Yep. And Mellow Pintor says what I said, that it'll be online within minutes after it airs on Netflix. But I'm telling you, Rockstar, man, they have a private red phone into YouTube. Like, don't forget that, like, Rockstar copyright protected their trailers up until, like, 2 years ago. Like, if you use one of their trailers in an edit to promote one of their games, you would get a copyright strike. Like, I emailed...
I mean, Nintendo does that, too.
No, they don't.
Don't they?
Nuh-uh. I sent an email to my best contact at Rockstar about that. I was like, dude, what is going on? I'm like, why? Why do you guys do this? You're the only publisher. And he wrote back, well, we're Rockstar. And I was like, oh, F off. I'm like, we are promoting your game.
So what is it that Nintendo does then? Because you running Nintendo footage used to be a problem.
I don't know.
Because every time you'd be like, oh, we're running a Nintendo trailer. It's gonna be they're gonna do this thing.
Yeah, you know what? That's right. There was remember when they first started working with YouTube? They created these weird roles with influencers that nobody else had. I think it was part of that. Like they had these weird they didn't know how to work with influencers at first, and instead of talking to somebody else, they're like, well, we'll just try to figure it out, and they didn't. and they had these weird roles where like only like official partners could run certain footage. I think it may have been gameplay though, if I remember. I don't know. But you're right, there was something weird around Nintendo for a while, but that's gone now. And now Rockstar's is gone too. Like you can run their trailers now. But their old ones...
The world moves on one way or the other.
But the old ones are still protected. Like, they didn't go back and change them. They're like, well, everything we put out now, from now until infinity, you can use. So, well, I still can't use old trailers for Red Dead Redemption 2 in edits. It'll throw up copyright strikes. Rockstar, just weird with stuff like that. Andy says, plus no live comments section on Netflix where people can, rail it. True. But it's going to happen anyway. If people don't like it, you can't hide very long. Robolisk 9, I think the Netflix promotion is more for the casual gamer who browses Netflix after work and notices a trailer. It's not aimed at the core gamer who's counting the days for the release date. Yeah. But the core gamer is also counting the days until we can see the game in action. Yeah. Noxator says the GTAs in the NFL this year are going to be nonstop. Yeah. Literally the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, it's just going to be like the whole season sponsored by Grand Theft Auto. It really is. Yep. All right, let's scroll down to the bottom here. And see if there's any down here. Times any, they want to do something like the Bethesda Creators Club, where only the approved people could show trailers and footage, with Nintendo getting their cut, of course. Yep, that's what it was. And Nintendo would take a cut of your revenue from, like, their stuff. Thanks, Times Any. I wish I could look up stuff while I'm sitting here. It's just hard when you're running a show and a TriCaster and all that. I will quote from Soul Wax Remix. I will quote Jeff Gerstmann on the matter. An extended look, 2026, 1080p, WB.
That must be the file name.
The file name.
For the GTA thing.
1080p web. Well, where are you getting 20 minutes from that, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where that... I don't know.
I don't know.
Yep. Swan Senpai says there are 128 gigabyte Blu-rays. I still don't think that'll be enough for GTA 6, though. Dazzle369, will the GTA 6 theme song be better than whatever GTA 5's? I don't even know what GTA 5's theme song was.
No.
Nope. Any questions over on YouTube?
I still know the theme song for GTA San Andreas, though.
Yeah. Yep. The Legacy. How is Netflix exclusivity any different from IGN First or magazines having exclusive cover stories? And it's only 6 hours. I mean, it's different because IGN is free and Netflix costs money. There's a paywall.
I mean, a magazine is a paywall, technically.
Technically, yeah. I mean, technically a website, because you have to pay for the internet. And you have to pay for I mean, you can go down that rabbit hole all day long, but technically...
But a magazine is specifically, you have to buy the magazine to read it.
You do. Websites, you don't. Well, most anyway. Even SIFTD is free. Just our content costs money. Okay, that looks like all the questions you guys have. Bottom line, I think this was... I don't know. I can see Rockstar's reasoning for doing this. Because, again, I do think that Grand Theft Auto... I don't know if it would do this for its other games, but for Grand Theft Auto 6 it would.
Yeah, you just got to go into the most mainstream channels you can to let everybody know it's happening. That's really... You just need to make you got to make the normal people aware of this thing's existence.
Yep.
And that's... The challenge for every game is probably not a huge challenge for GTA because word of mouth is going to be a big deal with it. But if you want those big opening week numbers, you got to make sure everybody knows this is happening.
Yep.
And you got to know how many people are, especially if your pre-orders are unprecedented, you got to know how many you got to make because clearly there's going to need to be another printing of these. So.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. They're making those right now.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make them from now until launch day to get them
And you probably need some of those numbers to really impress on the retailers that, you need to get these in.
Even though this is just a code in a box,
you
put this box up behind your cash registers, people are going to come in.
Because they don't make huge orders of these physical games anymore. You're lucky to see these things on the shelf at all.
It's true. I can't even imagine what the marketing spend is going to be for Grand Theft Auto 6. So that whole Halo 3 thing that happened was $40 million. This may be they may spend $1 billion.
They're going to spend $1 billion on it.
$500 million? I would not be surprised at all.
I would. That's a little more than just that costs.
I bet we see commercials for this a year and a half, 2 years after it launches.
Probably. But the blitz, the marketing blitz for Supergirl, which was everywhere, was reportedly $200 million.
Okay.
So
with 500, you could do a lot.
Double that would be. I can't imagine how you'd get to 400 million. Just with there's only so many places you can market.
There's only so many bus stops.
You run out of things to do.
Advertise.
Basically,
it's hilarious. It's funny that PlayStation used to run commercials for its games for years after they came out. They've stopped doing that.
Yeah.
You don't see commercials for Soros. That game just came out 2 months ago.
Yeah. And they used to also do commercials which were sort of group commercials where all the PlayStation was together and be sort of more of a PlayStation. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
They used to, they put out a Ratchet and Clank. You'd see a commercial for that 2 years later. They don't do it anymore. Maybe Rockstar is going to try to rekindle that for Grand Theft Auto 6 because I do think it is a smart way to reach the mainstream outside of sort of our circles.
As long as you're doing it on live broadcasts.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that people can't skip.
Yep. Yeah. That's why the NFL's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're going to spend a ton of money on NFL games, I'm for sure. All right, there you go. That's our headline of the week, brought to you by VideoGame.Town again. If you like the written word and you love video games, head on over to VideoGame.Town, TOWN. Some of the best writing in the industry from some of the best writers in the industry. Check them out. Read their articles. Check out their Patreon. Listen to their podcasts. Go to VideoGame.Town. All right, it's time to move on to our first game that we're going to tackle in GameFace episode 492. We're going to talk about Beast of Reincarnation. It is what I've been saying in all the scripts that I've been writing, is that it's the first gritty game from Game Freak. That's what I've settled on. Because they've done other games.
You tell me Tembo the Badass Elephant wasn't grit?
I don't think it was. I may be wrong, but I don't think it was.
You're probably going to want to unpause the chat.
Oh, yeah. Let me scroll down there. Get down to the bottom of chat.
Well, because it's not scrolling down. Because scroll down too far and it still pauses. You got to click that button.
I see. Someday I'll learn how to use Twitch. I've only been using it for 20-some years. Someday I'll learn the ins and outs. But anyway, Beast of Reincarnation is a game from Game Freak. Game Freak you may recognize, but if you're not a Nintendo gamer, you may not. But Game Freak has made pretty much all the Pokemon games, from the beginning of time until the very last one that you played. And they did, as Matt mentioned, they have done other games in the past. They did like a fun, 2D platformer called Tembo the Badass Elephant. They've done a couple other smaller things along the way.
The best thing they ever did outside of the Pokemon stuff is the horse racing game with poker.
Oh.
It was a DS digital release.
Right. Yeah, I forgot the name of it too.
I can't remember. I just knew it and it's gone now.
That's a cult classic, yeah.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yep. But generally, they pretty much just make Pokemon, but not now. Beast of Reincarnation is Game Freak kind of breaking out of its kid-friendly shell, and it is an action RPG, but not open world, although it does give you the illusion that it's open world.
Yeah, you get open areas.
As you're playing it, it might as well be an open world game.
More or less.
But it's God of War. You go through some corridor sections, and then it breaks open. Stellar Blade 2.
This is a Stellar Blade clone, top to bottom.
Really? You think Absolutely. That they look, well... This game's
100%.
been in development for 6 years, so...
This is a Stellar Blade clone.
Yeah.
The way, the pacing, the mechanics, the structure. I mean, it doesn't have the cheesecake, ass shots everywhere.
Yeah, it's not offensive.
But in terms of what it does, how it does it, this is a Stellar Blade clone. There is no way in hell they didn't do some kind of, readjustment once Stellar Blade came out, because it's too close.
What makes you think it's like Stellar Blade?
You run around the open areas. You get in the fights with the things at random. As you run into them, you can sneak up on them and do the stab thing. The combo system is very similar. The upgrade system is somewhat similar. You find the campfires just like you find the little camps with the vending machines, which is both stolen from Souls. But the way it is done is the same as that's where you do the crafting. It's where you upgrade things. So it's taken from Souls, but just the presentation is Stellar Blade.
I thought that Stellar Blade was an action adventure. This is definitely an action RPG. The RPG systems in this are way deeper than Stellar Blade's.
I would say they are more convoluted, but I don't think they're particularly deeper.
I mean, there's 4 or 5 different things you can upgrade.
Right. That doesn't mean it's
there was one.
That doesn't make it
Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade had a huge skill tree, bigger than this one.
Well, it had a tree with 3 prongs, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, and this one also has 3 prongs.
But that's just one. There's
one for
4 other things.
Right, but the dog's abilities are dog shit.
All right. Well, I'm just going to disagree with you. I do not think this is like Stellar Blade.
Well, if I'm going to compare this to anything in terms of someone who's interested in playing it, I'm going to say, did you play Stellar Blade first? Because that is the most important comparison to make for this game. Is also the most important comparison to make because if you played Stellar Blade, you have played a game that does every single thing this game does, but better.
Well, it does. No, there's no companion in Stellar Blade that you control at the same time.
True, but that also is not done very well. I'll put it this way. I refunded this game.
Really?
This game fucking sucks. I hate this game.
I don't think it sucks.
I hate this game. I don't like the way this game feels to play at all.
I was afraid it was going to suck because I read a lot of reviews. And what I'm going to say about this game is...
I was ready. I was hoping those reviews were sort of like, oh, we wanted something stellar and crazy. Not stellar and stellar.
No, I know what you mean.
But we wanted something that was going to blow us away because it's Game Freak and it's different and it's maybe it could be another Stellar Blade where you find something that's cool to play in the kind of the doldrums of summer. And I was hoping for that too. But after an hour of this, I don't like how this game controls at all. really just bothered me, especially that it's a full price game and it does not feel like it's worth
60,
that.
right?
It was 69, I think.
Was it 70?
I think it was on Steam. I might be thinking of I can't remember if the visual in my memory. I can't remember if that was the standard price or whatever the deluxe. I did not buy the deluxe edition thing.
Okay. Well, you kind of cut to the chase, but we do need to kind of set up the game a little bit here. So
I'm looking forward to this because I don't know what the fuck's going on in this game. This is one of the weirdest, most. I mean, that also is similar to Stellar Blade. Two completely incomprehensible stories that you do not care about.
Well, the story of this reminds me more of like Expedition 33.
Oh yeah, the story of this is not like Stellar Blade in the sense that it's not a space opera like weird other planet thing, but it has the same sort of like. Am I supposed to understand what you're talking about right now? Because I do not.
Yeah, I don't know what the words you're using, what they are. Well, it is set in 4026 in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo, and basically what happens is the Beast of Reincarnation is this legendary creature that shows up once every 100 years. It shows up, it barfs out a bunch of blight all over the land, it kills a bunch of stuff, and then it comes back 100 years later. Well, you play as Emma, who is called two different things. She's called... what was it? The Purifier and the Vessel. Like, there's like two different things.
So not only is she like a very special kind of warrior, she's also the chosen one of those warriors. Right. But there's other people that used to be that, and they either help her or don't help her sometimes, depending on which scene you're in.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like they sort of have this. It's one of those classic sort of things where that like these action, especially character action games do. Although this is. This is not a Devil May Cry game, but it has a similar kind of combat to it sometimes. But like, it does that thing where it's like, there's this really like existing, pre-existing world here with all this history and all these characters and all these things happening, and we're gonna refer to all of that as though you already know what it is, and you're gonna, I guess, discover the world through context clues as you go.
And there's really not much of that.
And there's not much of that happening here because like. Instead,
they didn't put it in the game.
They didn't put it out in the game, or like they just sort of do a huge info dump with a very bored narrator at the very beginning of this, and
everybody in this game sounds bored.
You're just gonna have to deal with the fact that a lot of things have capital letters on them.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like Destiny in that regard. It's like we're gonna capitalize this in the subtitle so you know it's important, but we're not gonna tell you why it's significant.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is Emma is basically gonna fight her way to the capital city to take on the Beast of Reincarnation and hopefully kill it and end the blight. And as you play the game, there's a bunch of flashbacks that go back to explain what happened. So there is this walking mech that is like your home base in this game. And the game just starts and you're just on the mech. And there's this dude driving it and there's this little girl laying in a bed. And you're like, what in the hell is going on with what are all these people? Where'd they come from? And the plot in this game, a lot of it is going back in time to explain how she met Ku, the wolf, and how they forged their relationship and why the dog fights for her. How she met the little girl and what the little girl's story is and why she's on the mech.
I think it might be time to make it illegal to have video games start stories in media res.
Yeah.
Like, just tell the fucking story.
Yeah.
Like, if you got to cut your story up and reshuffle it to make it interesting, maybe just write a different story.
Well, here's the thing, Matt. They could cut it up all they want. It still wasn't interesting.
No, it didn't succeed in that. That's what they're trying to do, but it is not what happened.
The voice acting and the writing and the...
It's like they gave everyone a Valium before they recorded this.
It is so boring.
It's great. And it's supposed to be because like humans don't have emotions anymore. Right. And it's like, that shouldn't have made it through the first writers meeting. Right. Like,
well, that's what happened to
What
her.
if everyone's just incredibly bored all the time?
So she was attacked by the blight, and so it took away her human emotions and her empathy, but it gave her the ability to affect the trees and the plants and the flora.
It made her hair wood.
Yep. And so in this game, she has 3 disciplines that you level up basically separately. It's her hair, projectiles, and melee, basically. And her hair is what gives her all these crazy abilities. Her double jump, and she can create these bridges out of like tree limbs and stuff. And all that is because she was infected with the blight. So, not only is she interested in getting rid of the blight, she's also trying to save herself, basically. And so that's kind of the plot, and it does jump around. And like you play as her as a little girl at one point. You play as her as a young warrior at one point. And it does kind of jump all around to kind of show you how everybody got here to be very freaking boring.
Yeah.
The guy in the mech's name is like Dan.
Yeah. It's also like it's annoying because like in a game like this where you're upgrading the character repeatedly, whenever they flash back and you don't have those abilities, it's like
yeah.
It's like there's a sense of progression.
It's like if Metroid had flashbacks.
To upgrading, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, now I got to do this like one-off thing, and the whole point of this scene is to tell me this backstory I don't even care about. And then after I see the backstory, I was correct to not care about that. So it's just that over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like just what? Like
this story is really bad.
It really is. Even by the standards of like bad action game stories that don't make a lot of sense from some of these kind of games. Like this is maybe the worst one I've ever seen.
The voiceover in this, a lot of them, as you said, they're trying to portray that they have no emotion. Great job.
Oh yeah,
they nailed it.
Nailed it. Absolutely. I'm just saying that's probably was a bad idea from the
It reminds me of a lot of the NPCs in From Software games where they just sit there and kind of mumble.
Right, but like those have like a verve to them.
I
Like they're some of those are memorable, and this is just sort of like blank.
Yeah,
there's nothing here.
It is really bad. You will not count on the story to get you through this game. That is one thing I can definitely promise. There are three things.
You get three things you got to ask every time you're doing a creative project about anything you're putting into it. You have to ask, is it an idea? Then you got to ask, is it a good idea? Then you got to ask, is it the right idea? And all the main characters in this game having no emotions or inflection is an idea.
It's not.
But then you run into that second question, and I think you made the wrong choice there.
Yeah, you can see in these menus here though, you can level everything up. You can go into like your separate bow, your separate crossbow. They all have different types of bolts and arrows. You get eventually you get fire stuff. You get like acid stuff.
There's very little like guidance on like what is the best or what you should really be after, and the answer seems to be whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Nothing seems particularly better than the others early on, and at least, and it's not a particularly difficult game.
I've been surprised that a lot of people in their reviews have said this game is hard.
Yeah,
I saw someone from Polygon wrote an editorial about it yesterday complaining about how difficult it was, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, admittedly, I didn't play a super a lot because I did return it.
I played it a lot. I played this
but like I didn't find it particularly difficult if you've played Stellar Blade or games like it, or B, if you played Dark Souls or games. I mean,
it's a Souls-like.
If you've got your pair, I mean, the
rank and file enemies are pretty easy, and the bosses are choke points.
Yeah, but even then, like as long as you've got your parrying down, like if you've mastered parrying in a game like Stellar Blade or a game like Dark Souls, you're pretty much ready to go.
Yeah,
it's certainly less demanding in that regard than something like Sekiro.
Yeah, it has a wide window for the perfect parries, for sure.
Very wide.
Yep.
I don't think it feeds back very well on them. Like I don't think it like a game that has good perfect parries is going to do a very obvious visual cue when you get one, and I don't think this one's visual cue is very.
It has this huge. Your whole sword turns gold, and there's this big gold flash that comes all over the screen.
Right, but like. Then you're supposed to use that to then do the counter retaliate, and there's often not enough time to do that.
I agree with that. It's hard to jump in fast enough to really punish.
Like if you go back to Stellar, I'm going to continue to compare this to Stellar Blade because playing it is like playing a bad Stellar Blade. In terms of the moment-to-moment gameplay. When you parry, one of the things that Stellar Blade does is it slows the fucking game down for a second so you can, like, hit back.
But this has its own slowdown mechanics in it.
The slowdown mechanics are not very well implemented. That isn't so bad. I mean, you can work with that. The
first time I saw this stuff, I thought somebody dosed me on LSD, dude. I thought the game was melting down. I thought it was a glitch.
That's too controlled to be a glitch.
This wasn't the first time it happened. It happened somewhere else when I was just walking, and I saw trees in the horizon like disappearing.
Well, it's also I guess it's also confusing because ground clutter and the flowers in particular rise up when you get close to them the same way. So like they use that as like an effect of the in-universe blight, but they also use it to like put the ground clutter in as you walk up to it, which is confusing.
Yeah.
It's the slowdown when you use the dog that I found more annoying. But I also don't like that philosophy in an action. Like I don't like it when Final Fantasy VII Remake does that either. Like I don't like it when Kingdom Hearts does it. I don't like this. Make it turn based or don't. Like if like the or give me, like
I don't know how you can control the dog. Without it slowing down.
You would need to devote buttons to it.
Yeah.
And you can't devote buttons to it because they also want it to be a Dark Souls game. So you have to use all those buttons for that combat, and then you're trying to stack the dog on top of it. And the end result is you have to use that sort of slowdown method. And I think it doesn't slow it down enough at times because of how, like involved the combat can be in terms of close up. And also, like, I just don't think it's usually worth it. Like, a lot of time, like, the dog has a couple of good abilities in terms of, like, especially in terms of, like, status effects stuff. But usually I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to hit you until you die. Like, it was not that demanding.
Eventually, with some bosses, you need the dog.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, like, I'll never know.
So this is a Souls-like, but it is a light one. Like, when you die, you don't lose your stuff. And that's really the biggest punishment in most Souls-like games. Like, the enemies will respawn, but again, the rank-and-file enemies in this aren't a huge threat. Like, you're not going to run into somebody that's, like, 20 levels higher than you that wipes you out with one shot.
See, that's
like,
what I mean there, where you did the perfect parry there, and, like, yeah, it makes your sword gold, but, like, it's not it doesn't, like, flash it in your face the way, like, a good parry system should.
It seems like it's dynamic and it changes. Like, if you do it against a boss, it's much more obvious for whatever reason.
But, like, that, again, that inconsistency is bad design. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised by some of the things they've decided to do in the Pokemon games over the years. But, like, I just unimpressed by just about everything here.
Campsites are the game's bonfires. You can level up there. You can save. You can craft your improvements. Again, as I mentioned, the important part is that you don't lose anything when you die, so it takes a lot of the sting out of the Souls-like stuff in this.
Although they do kind of impress on you that, like, if you don't get back to your body in time, your ghost won't hold together or something. Like, was that this one?
No.
Or is that another game?
I think that was Mistfall Hunter.
Is that Mistfall Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay,
you had 2 minutes to get back to your body in that one. And
all the fucking death mechanic stuff is starting to blend together.
It does. I mean, we've played so many of these games, Matt. Like, it's crazy that we can separate any of them at this point. I mean, it really is.
And it even looks a little bit like this in places.
Yeah.
Obviously, not as much Norse mythology here.
Yeah.
Which is refreshing, I guess.
The big X factor in this game, and what does set it apart from other games, is Ku, the dog. The fact that you're controlling yourself and the dog in combat at the same time. I don't have a problem with it slowing down because I don't know how I would use Ku otherwise.
Oh yeah, I just don't like that. I don't like that as a solution to things you can't fit on the controller. I don't like it in this. I don't like it in Final Fantasy Remake. I don't even really like it in Mass Effect when you give orders to your squad mates like that. Either stop the game or let me do it in real time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the slowdown thing because you're just sort of it puts you in a weird limbo.
My biggest issues with the gameplay is the balancing. Everything is not balanced well. Like the ranged combat in this, your bow or with your bolt gun, is way overpowered. Yeah. Like, you can just literally, if you get a good shot on an enemy, like a rank and file, it'll take them down with one arrow. One arrow will kill them. Even on some bosses, I was able to take out like a third of their health using the bolts in my crossbow. And it fires real fast. It's like rapid fire. And, like, once you start using the projectiles and the ranged combat in this, it starts to become a little bit too easy. And the other thing, too, is, like, if you use the projectile stuff in combination with Ku, you don't have to get near enemies. You can just sit back and just plonk with the bow or with the bolt gun and just send Ku in. Now, Ku is on cooldown, and I would say that I wished his cooldowns were a little faster. Like, because if you use him once in a boss fight, like, you can't really use him again until you're almost done with the boss. Like, I do wish his cooldowns were a little shorter, so you could use him a little bit more often. And then maybe,
I was surprised that wasn't part of his skill tree.
Yeah,
his cooldown
and then maybe nerf him a little bit, so you use him more often, but maybe he doesn't do as much damage. And it's also inconsistent. Like, against the rank and file enemies, Ku just wrecks shop. Against a boss, like, a lot of times, you could use his most powerful attack. It'll take, like, 1 pixel.
This is also a good example of... like, people complained, I think, about Stellar Blade having hard normal enemies and Dark Souls games having normal enemies. This game is a good example of, like, okay, the reason those the rank and file enemies are difficult in those games is because otherwise it's boring. Like, otherwise there's nothing to do.
Yeah. So you're getting around to my overall opinion on this game, which is that the first few hours I played, I'm surprised you didn't like the first few hours, because I did. And I was like, wait a minute, all these people are wrong. Like, how could the whole industry get this game wrong? Like, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I do think my expectations were lowered because I saw its Metacritic score. So I started playing it, and I'm like, wow, like, this game's actually freaking awesome. I love fighting with the dog. I like the dog. The plot had not become stupid and boring yet. The combat hadn't become boring yet. And I thought that this was just the beginning. as I kept playing it, you realize that those first 2 hours, that's the whole damn game. Mm-hmm. And things really don't evolve past that. Like, I had a great first couple hours. This is one of those games that the more I played it, the less I liked it. And so I started sitting there and I'm like, oh, well, I'm only 12 hours into this. The people who finished it played it for 30 hours.
Also, this scene is completely stolen from Princess Mononoke, and it's fucking shameless.
Yeah.
Like,
they do this in every game. The moment the big bad guy shows up.
No. I mean the fact that this giant deer creature is walking around growing plants around it and sniffing at things, and its breath is creating life. Like, that's straight out of the Forest God in post Princess Mononoke. I was almost shot for shot right there.
Where you're also getting to what I was getting at, which is that, like, this game...
And that is from Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. This game checks every box. Mm-hmm. It has everything. Every popular game from the last 7 years, they have put an element of it in this game. It's like Game Freak sat there and was like, you know what? We've been making Pokemon all this time. We don't know what the hell we're doing. So let's just try to borrow a bunch of elements from all these other games that were successful and just put them all in. And surely everyone's going to love it. And I didn't love it. After a while, it just became overwrought and annoying. And the more I played it, the less I enjoyed it. You also realize that you're in this same environment for pretty much the entirety of the game. Like, I thought this was just one area, and then you move on to, like, a jungle or some... no. Like, you basically stay in this kind of hubbish area.
It's pretty much just one biome as you work your way toward that city.
Yeah. And so, again...
With your Temu Amaterasu.
Yeah. The more I played it, the less I liked it. Now, I do think the combat's good. I think the balance is off as far as the damage that you're doing, but I think it feels good. Like,
I don't. So, I was instantly repulsed by how this game feels to play, like the controls. Something about the way she runs, something about the way she moves.
The running is weird. I agree.
Dodging,
like
I don't like
platforming sucks.
I don't like any. I mean, the hitting the button to hit them is fine. Like, that actual part of the combat is fine. The movement in this game feels gross to me for some reason.
The platforming in this, she's so terrible. Jittery and hard to control.
Yeah.
Again, like, just the combat I like. Like, once you're in the skirmish with you and the dog fighting an enemy, I like it. But that's it. Like,
I don't like moving around in this game at all.
Yeah, the traversal isn't fun. Like, you can use her hair to, like, grapple pretty much anywhere you want. And it's pretty flexible, and you can, like, grapple once and then grapple again in midair and kind of fly around like Spider-Man a little bit. But again, it's all dependent on the camera showing you the icon. If you don't see it, you can't do it. And that's another issue with this game, the camera. This B-roll doesn't really show it. But there are lots of times in this game where you're stuck behind, the camera's behind a bush or behind a tree.
I mean, you did see when you activated the dog a little while ago, all it did was show you a giant close-up of the dog's ass.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. And it is a big problem in this game for sure.
Yeah.
And again, like, after
and like
a while,
the lock-on doesn't solve it either. Like, it's so weird. Like, the lock-on is bad somehow.
Yep.
And like, you're like, oh, I don't want to. This isn't helping me, so I'll get up. And that's worse too. Like, you basically have to choose between two bad options in terms of how you look at the game.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yep.
It's like, how is that not a solved problem? How is it not a solved problem from a company that works with Nintendo as much as these guys do? That's the crazy part.
So my final take on this is that it's a game that does everything. It's a master of all trades, or a jack of all trades and a master of none. It has all this stuff in it. It doesn't do it better than any other game.
No.
It's just there. And the problem is that it just ends up becoming derivative. It feels like it has no unique property of its own other than your dog companion in combat. It makes a great first impression, but like the first hour is its best hour, and it just goes downhill from there. The music I thought was great. That is one thing I will say that is good in this. I thought the music was really, really good. And the production values are good. Like, if I'm looking at this from the perspective of this is the developer that's going to make Pokemon for the next 15 or 20 years, then this game makes me happy. Because you're seeing that this studio is capable of making games that look like this.
I don't think this looks very good, though.
I mean, again, the art style's kind of derivative, the creatures are derivative or whatever, but on a technical level...
I don't think on a technical level this looks very good.
Really?
That's what I'm talking about. The dog looks like shit.
Fur
shading is
god
awful.
Compare it to the Pokemon games and what this studio has done before. This is 5 leagues beyond what this studio has ever done. Like, just all the stuff it's doing here, it's never even had to do in a Pokemon game. All these cinematics...
Okay, but it's using a lot of very baseline Unreal stuff here.
It might be. Bottom line is this is a gigantic leap for Game Freak, and it should portend well to the future of Pokemon games. And that's honestly the best thing that I can take away from this game, is that it gives me more hope that Pokemon games in the future won't look like they were made for the frickin' GameCube. Because right now, that's what those games look like. So they are capable of doing modern-looking games with a lot of effects that other big-budget games have. Maybe they can incorporate them into Pokemon games going forward.
I mean, the only way this would have anything to do with what Pokemon will look like in the future is if Pokemon switches to UE5.
Right.
Which they are not going to. But this could
convince Pokemon Company or Nintendo. Yeah, if this is what you can do in Unreal Engine, hell yeah. Dump that old crappy-ass engine you've been using for the last 20 years.
I cannot imagine Nintendo ever
This looks so much better. How could you not tell them to use this engine?
Because they don't want to deal with Epic. They don't want to have any... Nintendo does stuff in-house like that. They don't
that would be a gigantic mistake to not use this engine for
probably, but there is no way in hell Nintendo lets them switch to Unreal. There's not a chance in hell.
Really? There's no Nintendo games made with Unreal?
Nintendo stuff uses their own proprietary stuff. They usually have their own
engines, yeah.
Every time.
That would be really dumb, but it is Nintendo.
It's half the reason they own Monolith.
Yeah. That would be stupid, because this is an opportunity to literally jump 3 rungs with your Pokemon games.
I think that's one of the reasons Pokemon still looks like it is, because they don't use outside tech like that.
That's a shame.
They don't want to give Epic a cut of Pokemon. That's all it is.
Yeah. Now,
it's all money.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This game is on Game Pass. So I thought it was 60. Maybe it's 70. I thought it was 60 bucks.
It's probably 60. I think the deluxe is probably 70.
Yeah.
It's probably 60 and 70.
I actually did not put it in my notes, so I screwed that up. But I thought it was 60. But regardless, I wouldn't tell you to buy this at 60 or 70.
No.
Instead, like we always say, spend $23 for a month of Game Pass and play this for the first few hours while it's still fun and good before it wears out its welcome.
Although I'm going to say, for me, this is another game like what you were talking about watching Mortal Kombat 2. There's just a point where I'm like, I'm not wasting any more of my finite lifespan on this thing. Like, I wouldn't even say play it on Game Pass. It's not worth your time.
Well, one thing I do struggle with, and I've mentioned this before, is taking myself out of the equation. So I've played so many action RPGs, so many Souls-likes, but a lot of people haven't. And so I try.
So have I.
I know. That's what my point is. Both of us have played so many of these that things that bother the crap out of us may not bother other people.
But what I'm saying is, if you haven't played this many of these, go play one of the good ones.
Yeah, I can see.
Go play Stellar Blade. Go play Elden Ring. Go play anything. Go play Liza P.
In the end, I would say that its Metacritic is right. It's at a 7.3. And that's probably, if I had reviewed on a 10-point scale, that's around where I would have ended up on
that's about what I expected to average out. I would give this more like a 5.
Yeah, I would not. I think it's better than that.
I really think this sucks.
I did play a lot more of it.
You did. But I
see your
did not want to play any more of it, and that's fair to say that, because if you could walk out of Mortal Kombat 2, I can walk out of this, because it's terrible.
I'm not saying you can't like it. You have to like it.
And I'm just saying, as someone with a lot of experience in that, I put my hands on this for the first, second, and I'm like, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And I guess they could tweak that. The movement is the worst part. Moving around, and you spend so much time running through these open areas, and you're just like, I don't like this.
No, I agree.
And one of the other reasons I compare it to Stellar Blade is because in Stellar Blade you do this, you're doing a lot of running through open areas like that, and it did feel good to run around like that. You felt like you were moving at the right speed. You felt like you could react to things in time. Yeah. The camera didn't suck. It's just because again, Stellar Blade is more of a comparison there because the camera doesn't need to be babysat as much as a From Software games does, because From Software the camera is almost part of character control, and it wasn't like that in Stellar Blade, and it's not really like that in this, mostly because you do not have that kind of control over it most of the time. I think the fact that like you said, there is nothing this game does that isn't done better by other games means just go play other games.
It does everything. It just doesn't do them all great. It's a me, Derek D. asks, can Ku get hurt or die like dog meat? No, it's invincible.
Ku does have a life bar, but it's not going to kill the dog.
I never saw the dog die.
I've saw it on a stream that the dog can get knocked out.
Oh, really? I never had that happen.
But not it's not dead. It's not but it'll come back in a minute. It's just you just can't use it for a little while.
I'm no god at gaming, and I never had that happen. But yeah.
I keep wondering now if there was a day one early patch or something that made it easier, because I watched some streams of it beforehand, and they were getting killed left and right, and I didn't run into that. Even I mean these streams were pretty early on in the game. It's not more or less the same stuff I played, and getting to that same stuff when I was playing, I was like, this is nothing. I not saying I'm the god of action games or anything, but these people were dying 15 times in the first few hours of the game, and I'm like, I don't know how you're pulling that off.
Yeah. See if there's any other questions.
They give you tons of healing opportunity. I mean, it's not.
Well, that's the other thing I should have mentioned that makes it way easier is that the campsites are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
There's a billion
and
of them.
you refill your Estus flask equivalent every time. I mean, then those heal a pretty respectable amount.
And you can boost those up.
You boost those up with
trees,
stuff, and you with the food and stuff. Yeah, it's staying alive was not really a problem in this for me.
Me either. I didn't think it was that hard at all. The bosses are like it's like every Souls like. You get to the boss, you have to fight him a bunch of times, you figure out what it wants you to do.
Yeah, JM Stellar Blade is too long. Like, I'm not saying Stellar Blade is perfect. I'm just saying in terms of moment-to-moment control, Stellar Blade does all this a lot better.
Yeah. A lot less butts in this, too.
Oh, yeah.
Way less babes.
No cheesecake in this one.
Salon Senpai says, all these games just blur into one. I can't tell the China Souls games apart either. Yeah, I mean, Matt, you and I have played so many of these. It's amazing that we can still remember like little parts of them.
Who's ready for Phantom Blade Zero?
That's coming next, though. It is. Like, it's one of PlayStation's...
Went gold.
It's one of PlayStation's big first-party games for 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that's better than this. That's for sure.
Swan Senpai says, why does Pokemon look like crap when they can make games look this good? Yeah.
Because Unreal Engine does a lot of the work for them here.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Sadly, the screenshots that we've seen so far of Pokemon wins and waves, it looks like the other Pokemon games.
It looks better
a little bit.
It looks better than the last one, but like you're still sitting 10 years behind the curve on that at least.
Yeah.
I mean, there's maybe not the last one, but probably the Pokemon before last. There's not a whole lot in that couldn't have been done on the Dreamcast.
No, that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
Really
Their
being
games
honest.
look like GameCube games.
Sure.
Like, it's really sad.
But again, they sell like crazy, so it doesn't matter.
They're like, why would we bother? Yeah. And again, it's one of those things where if y'all quit buying them, then they'll be improved. But if you keep buying them the way they are, they're not going to change anything.
Yeah, well, maybe if they stop buying Rockstar games, they might stop making Hammer A to sprint. But like that's not going to happen either. So.
Do you think they'll make you tap A to sprint in this?
That'll be default. Rockstar, Red Dead Redemption has a toggle for it, so you'll get.
At least they'll give you a toggle.
But like, I guarantee you, tap X will be the default thing. You have to change it.
Well, there you go. That's Beast of Reincarnation. It ultimately, neither one of us recommend it to buy at full price. I think it's a good Game Pass game. Fiddle around with it. Check out Ku's Kombat. It's definitely something kind of cool and unique, but it also doesn't evolve enough over time, and it wears out its welcome too. So, again, a great Game Pass game. Play it for a few hours, and then go play Halo Campaign Evolved, and then play Forza Horizon 6, and you got, like, $300 out of your $23. So, that's what I would recommend, but I do not recommend buying this at full price at all. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the big viral hit from the last week, Big Walk. We actually talked about it in housekeeping last week because the reviews had broken right before the show started, and it was getting like 9s and 10s, and we were like, damn, well, we need to get this on people's radar. It is free for people who are PlayStation Plus subscribers, so I'm guessing a lot of you downloaded it, and maybe you guys have played it too. But we're going to talk about Big Walk. Matt, did you get a chance to try this out at all?
No.
So this is a cooperative puzzle adventure for up to 12 players. That's the best way I could describe it in a sentence. So each one of these things you're seeing here is a human player. And when you see their nose move, that means that the real person is talking. And basically how it works is you start in this home base area that looks like it may be where like Squid Game starts out. And you walk out and you're just on this big gigantic island. And basically on the island, there's like a handful of towers. And they're all color-coded. There's a red tower, a green tower, blue tower, yellow tower, etc. And when you get to the top of each tower, there are basically 6 things that you need to collect and put into like an interface at the top of the tower. And so what you do is you go down into the areas around the tower and you find these little installations that are basically puzzles that you need to solve with everybody else. And if you solve the puzzle, you get this little red nubbin thing that you then take to the tower. And once you have all 6, you finish that tower, you move on to the next tower. And that is pretty much the design of the entire game. Now, while you're doing this, there could be up to 12 or 11 other players in the world with you. Everybody's talking. There is a day and night cycle, as you're seeing. And so carrying around these little lighted blue orbs becomes very important, and it becomes strategy eventually. Like, if you're out in the wilderness and it's about to get dark, you need to find yourself a damn glowing ball, because if it gets dark and you're out there by yourself, you are screwed. And that is one thing I will say about this game. There is a reason it is called Big Walk. because you do a ton of walking in this game. And the issue that I really have with it, and I'll get into the fun parts of it in a second, but the big issue that I have with it is that, like, once you get lost, you are screwed because there's no map. So you can't figure out where everybody else is. Now, the towers are usually perched on the top of mountains. So if you get to a good vista, you can kind of see where the tower is and be like, oh, God, there's a blue tower. I need to make it all the way over there. But otherwise, like, they can send up flares at the top of towers, but you can't communicate with them. So there's only location-based communication, unless you get walkie-talkies that you can find out in the world. Then you can talk to each other at any time. And if you're at a tower, they have like a base walkie-talkie that they can get on. They can communicate with anybody else who has the walkie-talkies. So there's a way to communicate with people. But if you get separated from the crew and everybody else and you're in the dark by yourself, you just have to sit there and wait for daylight to come. Or you can run around and hope you end up somewhere, but chances are you're going to go the wrong way. So they limit the communication available on purpose. Like, I think that that's a thing. They want you to make sure that you're being smart and using the communication tools that they give you, meaning proximity chat and using the flares and the walkie-talkies. And that is pretty much the whole game. The puzzles in the game always require a lot of people. Like, there's some you can maybe solve with just 4 players, but, like, there's some that eventually, like, you need, like, 8 to 10 people to solve them at once, because some of the puzzles, you'll get to the puzzle location, and there's, like, 2 rooms. And a group will go into a room in a locked door, and there will be clues in there, and then the rest of the people are outside of that room actually solving the puzzle. So, for example, they'll go in the room, and it will show, like, a sequence of, like, icons on the wall. They'll speak out through the window and say, next is the cyclone. Next is the thing that looks like an E. And so you will go and put up these things in the order they tell you to solve the puzzle. There's a little bit of fanfare. The little nubbin thing drops down, and then you got to carry it. And then here's the thing. You have to carry that nubbin back to the tower. So eventually you can find backpacks that let you carry one on your back instead of having to carry it. But, like, part of the fun is, like, okay, how many nubbins are we going to collect before we make the trek back to the tower to put the nubbins into the machine to finish the tower? And that's big walk. Like, that is pretty much the entirety of the game. That's how it works. And I'll say this was another game that I had a really good time with at first, and it started to lose its impact on me after a while. Because the one thing I will say is that, like, it does make you feel good to play with gamers who want to help each other. So the way this game works is you can start a server yourself, and then anybody on your friends list, provided you don't password protect it, can just join your game. And if you do that, then all the progress that you make is tied to your save in your game. I tried to do that. Nobody on my friends list would join my game. None of you guys joined it. So I couldn't play. So I went on Reddit, because there's no matchmaking in this. Just like every cooperative game that comes out anymore, there's no native random matchmaking. So I went on Reddit, just like I did for It Takes Two and all their games. And I went on Reddit, and there was a thread there. It's like, punch in this number and join my server. And I did. And so I joined someone else's server, and there were 12 people in there. And we just played it, like, all day long on Saturday, basically. And the way it works is, as long as you keep going back to that same server you were playing on, your progress is saved. But if I do that on their server and try to start my game, I have to start all over again at the beginning. And you do not want to do that, because the other thing with this game is, once you solve the puzzles, there's no fun anymore. And what happens is, like, for example, one of the people that was in this group with us had already played a bunch of the game. And so he ended up being the leader that we all followed around, and we get to the new puzzle, and he'd be like, okay, this is what we need to do. It did spoil a little bit of the fun for it, but I think it would have been worse if we didn't have that guy trying to figure it out and fumble around with every puzzle on our own. The puzzles, there's me. I got somebody to paint me black and gold in Pittsburgh colors. Most of the puzzles in this are kind of like what I described. Like, you'll have one group of your team doing one thing, instructing the other team. Like, there's this other puzzle that you get into that's like this big maze, and you have to pass these things through the windows to each other, because you can only hold them for a couple seconds. So you can't, like, pick it up and carry it out of the maze. You have to pass it through windows to each other. There was another one where you pick up this item, like, 100 yards away, and you have to form a human chain handing the thing to each other all the way. And it took, like, 15 minutes. And all it takes is one person to screw up. And people start getting edgy. Like, you have people that just freak out playing this, that just crash out. And then the other people will call them, oh, you just crashed out. And then they get more mad. Like, it's very... I'll say this. Like, I have never played a game like this. It was unique, and the feelings that I got playing this are unlike anything I've really got, like, playing video games before. So this is what I was talking about. So I'm outside solving the puzzle. A bunch of people are inside that little room to the left there telling us what to do. And the other thing I would say about this game is the audio is incredible. Like, every room you go into, like, it feels like you're there. Like, when those people are talking in that room there, you can hear the echo in the room coming out of the room. If you go in there, it changes your voice entirely if you go in there and talk. Like, there's very cool, like, little attentions to detail in this that, like, will surprise you. Like, pretty much every puzzle that you try. But again, we were playing with somebody who kind of had been through a lot of the early puzzles, and so he kind of walked us through a lot of them. We didn't have a lot of consternation or arguing among our team. But here's the thing. Like, I played on this server all day. I went back after dinner later that night, and they had, like, finished, like, all the towers but one, and I had missed all those towers, and now I was on, like, the last tower, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just missed all this other stuff. It's weird the way that it's set up, the way the saves work. I don't know what the better solution is, honestly, but I don't know. Why do you think these games never let you matchmake with randoms?
I don't know.
Because I just went to Reddit and did it. Like, they made me go to Reddit to do it instead of just putting it in the game. I talked about this with Hazelight's game, too. I'm like, just put it in the game. Why are you making me jump through a hoop and go into your Discord or going on Reddit to find people to match up with by using some stupid number? One thing I will say that is smart is once you do find the server number that you're playing with and you put it in and you join, every time you come back, it is auto-filled in the field. So you don't have to, like, go and get the number again if you forgot to write it down or whatever. It's just there, and you can just click one button and off you go and you're back in the server again. But again, any progress that you make in another server does not carry over to yours. So you have to start all over again at the beginning, and you don't want to do that because you've already solved those puzzles, and there's no fun in this after the puzzles have been solved. So I can understand on one level why this has like a 90 whatever Metacritic, because it is different and it is very well executed. As far as what it is, they have done an excellent job on it, but it also, the way that the saves work, the lack of real matchmaking, and the fact that the other thing too is that even after like 4 or 5 hours, some of the puzzles start kind of overlapping a little bit, the concepts behind the puzzles. But then every once in a while they'll throw you one that you're like, oh, like I didn't see this coming at all. So on one level I can see why it's getting the 9s and the 10s and whatnot, but for me it's definitely not at that level. There's just certain small things about it that are a little bit annoying. This is showing you the process. So we've already collected all the nubbins and the tower. Once you do that, you take the key out of the console, and then you have to go to these little stations and cut the key. So you find all the stations, you cut the key on all these stations, and once you've cut the key the way it's supposed to be, you take it back to the tower, put it in and turn it, and it will unlock like the bridge or the doorway to the next area you need to go to. The game also does cool stuff, like just gives you little places to just hang out where music is playing and you can dance with the other players. Like, I've said this a couple times in the last couple weeks on GameFace about games where you can tell that the developers play the living tar out of it. This is another one. You can see that they have played this endlessly, and they've figured out like a lot of the little quirks that you'll run into and the problems you'll run into, and for the most part have pretty much squashed them all. But at the end of the day, the concepts are pretty simple, and I think they've executed very well on those simple concepts. So I had a great time with this. It's free on PSN right now. I think it's selling for like $20 or $25. Let me see if I have that in my notes, actually. I don't know if I did put it in here. I did not, unfortunately. But it's selling pretty cheaply. But if you're a PSN subscriber, you can download it for free right now. And I had a blast with it for a day. But I have no interest in going back now. I don't want to start over on my own game and play through all the simple puzzles again. And I don't know how I could ever find the point that I left off on that other server and pick up from there and just play the puzzles that I haven't played yet. So I think I'm done. So here it is. After we cut the key, you put the key in the console, you come over here, and it opens the doorway, and now you can move on to a new part of the island. And that's pretty much the whole sort of game loop, the gameplay loop in the game. And you'll see here is like the little rec area. Like all those things you're seeing are speakers that play music, and you just go and hang out and sit down and dance. You know, it's friend slop. It really is. As far as like, do I enjoy this more than Peak? Maybe. Peak is more like a platformer. This is like a puzzle game. So I guess it really depends on like what kind of stuff you enjoy. But again, I think maybe the thing that impressed me the most was how cool a lot of the players were that were playing it. Like, people just wanted to help each other and get through the puzzles. Every once in a while, somebody, as I said, would crash out and get mad. Like the owner of this server was probably the worst person that we played with, because he'd get really frustrated with people. Like, let's just go. Like, let's stop talking and let's just go. And people would be like, bro, you're crashing out. And then he would, like, really freak out. Like... So this game has the human element to it, like, because you're playing with other human beings, and it's important that you have to rely on these other people. And it can be frustrating when they're just goofing off or being stupid or whatever, and maybe you think you're on a time crunch. But so here I am now, we're discovering the red tower. So you go up on the top of the tower. Once you get to the top of the tower, there's always tools up there. There's, like, binoculars so you can look out and see, like, where the other towers are, or maybe if someone's coming back with a nubbin. You can track them coming. There's the radio right there that you just saw. Each tower has, like, a collection of things that you can do. That red thing over there, that's the flare. You just saw it fire off. So once people get stuck out in the world, a lot of this game is, where are you? Where are you guys? Where are you? Watching the flares go up. Like, one time I got separated. I had a nubbin that I was taking back to the tower. I got separated from the group that had the light balls, and I got stuck out in the woods. And so I'm sitting there out in the woods, and they are going on the walkie-talkie that I can hear, but I can't communicate with them. They're like, where's that nubbin? Where's that nubbin? Where's the last nubbin? We need to finish up this, just over and over. And I'm standing there in the dark waiting for the sun to come back up. And I can't say anything to them. Like, that's a lot of this game. I mean, it's called Big Walk, and you do a lot of walking. And there's a jump that's kind of loosey-goosey, and, like, you kind of have to find your way around the terrain. The walking in it's a little annoying at times, I guess is what I'm getting at. But generally, the concepts and the design and the execution on this is pretty much flawless. So if what I've talked about for the last 10 minutes interests you, and you're like, that sounds really cool, like, they executed on it very, very well. There's very few hiccups, very few issues, things like that. If you fall, whatever you're carrying bounces away, and you have to go and find it. That's a little bit annoying. Because that stuff matters. Like, if you lose your light or whatever, you're screwed out in the middle of the wilderness when it gets dark. You can't see anything. So you just have to literally just stop and just stand there and wait for the sun to come up. So, yeah, that's Big Walk. It's not that expensive. I mean, I definitely got $20, $30 worth of entertainment out of it in the first day. There's no doubt about it. Like, if I had paid for this, I would not regret it at all. Instead, I got it for free on PlayStation Plus and played it for nothing and had a good time the whole day. And again, the save issues, things like that, definitely make the replay value of it a little bit suspect. If you could fight through the simple puzzles again, maybe it won't affect you as much. But I was like, man, there's no way I want to play through these first 15 puzzles or 20 puzzles all over again, knowing what they are already and how to solve them. And so I didn't. And I quit. But again, if I had paid money for this game, I would not have felt ripped off. I felt like I got my money's worth for it. This one, that guy stands at that podium. You go, everyone else goes and stands out here, and he points to you when it's time for you to push your button. So this is the types of, like, mini games or puzzles that are in this game. I'm going to fast forward through some of the footage here. That's
What's the minimum number of people you need?
I kind of said at the beginning, I think most puzzles at the minimum, you're going to need 4 or 5 people. But then there's lots of puzzles like this one. It's way easier if you have more people because you're trying to pass things through these little windows. And the more people you have at those windows to pass the stuff through. And you don't have to coordinate as much. So I guess what I would say is the more people you have, the sloppier you can be. Does that make sense? When you only have a few people, everybody has to do exactly what they're supposed to do, or you can't solve the puzzles. So there you go. That's the Big Walk. Here I am carrying a nubbin back to... This is after I got lost and had to spend the whole night in the wilderness in the dark. I finally got back. And see, I'll just fast forward here. Here we are taking the nubbins up to the top of the tower. And again, I think each tower requires 6 of them before you finish it and then you can move on. And you just take it over to this thing. You can see right there, we don't have any yet, but we just delivered the first 2. And once you deliver all of them, you finish the tower, move on to the next tower, rinse and repeat. It does seem like you can do the towers in whatever order you want as long as you can get to them. Because like I said, like you complete a tower, it opens up a new walkway to the new area of the island or whatever. So there you go. That's Big Walk. Let's check in with chat really fast. My guess is that some of you guys have played this, I would think. Let's go down to the bottom here. Uh-oh. I thought it froze for a second. All right, let's see if there's any questions. Can you kick players who may not be cooperating? From AJ the Legend. I don't know. Nobody ever got kicked in our session. Even though the guy who owned the server was being a jerk and people were giving him crap. I don't think he kicked anybody. But you can just join and leave. But the problem is like if you join and everybody is on the other end of the island, you have no idea where they are until they fire a flare. But it could take you like 20 or 30 minutes just to find the people that were on the island. Like when I first joined the server, we found the owner of the server right away. And it was like 4 of us. And so we went out and we started trying to solve puzzles or whatever. We randomly ran into the rest of the people. Like the server owner didn't notice that like his server was full. And there was a group of 8 other players that were off doing their own thing. And we found each other like, hey, like what's up? Like, again, this game is unlike pretty much anything else. I don't think I've ever played anything quite like it. And I think that's probably why it's getting like the high scores. Vincent says there is a minimum of 2. There are versions of the island for 2, 3, and 4 plus people. So I guess the island just evolves based upon how many people. So I do wonder how that works. If you're playing with 2, and then a bunch of people join your server, does it stay as a 2-person version of the island? I don't know how that would work.
I don't know.
Because if it doesn't, it feels like the world would have to disappear and then reappear to create the one that you're playing with. I don't know how that would work. But anyway, it seemed like most puzzles you could solve with just 4 people. Let's see if there's any other questions. Maybe the chat did freeze. Yep, it appears that it has. All right. Unfortunately. Oh, over on YouTube, Devin Danger. Is it as challenging as Baby Steps? It's way easier than Baby Steps. The Baby Steps is hard to just walk. Like, it's literally a walking simulator. In this, it's not hard. Like, it really is, like, it's about hanging out and having fun. That's really what this game is about. Like, the puzzles aren't that hard. They're hard enough that you feel good when you solve one. And when you solve one, everybody does, like, their dance emojis. Everybody celebrates and goes, woohoo! Like, again.
Seems like it's all going to hinge on the group you're playing with.
It does. And luckily, I ended up with a really, really cool group of people. Like, all 12 of them were cool and trying to help each other, and we're having fun with it. But yeah, I mean, if you play with a group of jerks, you wouldn't play it very long. You just wouldn't. Like, because they're not going to send up flares. They're going to leave you out in the wilderness by yourself and not help you get back to, like, the tower. It would suck. So you're right. Like, it does hinge a lot on who you're playing with, for sure. And again, maybe that's why they try to make you only use your friends list to play, and they don't give you random matchmaking. That might be, maybe they feel like, well, it could just ruin the game for people, playing with randos. I don't know. But I wish I could, and I couldn't, but ultimately it worked out. I just went on Reddit and found somebody to play with. So there you go. That is Big Walk. All right. Up next, another review. We're going to talk next about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I played the open beta a few weeks ago. And now Matt has played the final version, and I respect his opinion on fighting games far more than my own. And he has spent some time with Marvel Tokon. What are your impressions of it, Matt?
I mean, pretty similar to my impressions of the closed beta. It is, if you've wanted Marvel vs. Capcom 4, this is as close as we're ever going to get.
Do you really think we'll never get a 4th one?
No. Not after this.
You think after this killed it?
I think this will be your Marvel tag fighter for the foreseeable future.
Wow. Well, how come?
Because it's very popular, and people seem to like it a lot.
They do.
And it's very accessible, and it plays into the sort of both Marvel fan and horny fan like thing that made Marvel Rivals such a big hit. Not to the same degree, but like, you know, Magic has thigh jiggle, and that is about half the discourse right now. So that is just where we are. But yeah, it's very good. I have trouble with this game in terms of playing it because it is a very different kind of fighter. They're trying to make it more accessible.
It is noob friendly.
Just like Invincible. But by being noob friendly, it is not me friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because every special move is like basically the right trigger and a direction or no direction or plus a button or whatever. Mm-hmm. There aren't fireball motions really. None of that. And I can't.
Yeah, there's no quarter circle.
I can't do combos
circles.
Without that shit because I just fire off all the wrong stuff
Muscle
all
memory.
The time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that the next, just basic juggles. I'm just like, oh, it's got to be hold up and then hit right trigger and B, and that will do the move I wanted. Whereas I'm like, just give me a fucking half quarter circle forward. Like Like I'm fighting 30 years of muscle memory here,
I hear
and
you.
it's very hard to be proficient.
I mean, if you remember, I said that about when I played the beta. Like, I felt like it was very noob friendly, and it may be a problem for people who like complex fighters. But then this morning,
it is a complex fighter. It's just the control scheme is so different. And like, look, it's working. Like, but it's leaving. But like, as a fighting game grognard, it's hard. This is kind of like if this is an imperfect comparison, and it sells Tokon's combat system short. But it's like if Street Fighter 6 came out and it only had modern controls.
Right.
And you're like, does it break the game? No. Does it mean I got to relearn how to play? Yes. And I find that very frustrating and kind of don't like it.
I saw a comment on SIFTD this morning where someone was like, the onboarding's terrible. I'm a casual fighting game fan, and I like this, and I want to like it, and I bought it, but the onboarding's terrible, and they thought it was too complicated.
It is too complicated.
Yeah.
In the sense that it shows you all the things you can do, and it's fine at that. You know, it shows you all the different things and all the different cross-up things and how the different tag stuff works.
It is complicated, though, following that stuff.
But here's the thing. It never tells you why you would want to use those things. It never tells you when you want to use it.
And that's what matters.
It does not teach you how to play the game. It teaches you the controls.
How to do the moves. Yeah.
Those are two different things.
They really are. Yeah.
And that is the biggest failing of the onboarding. I'm hoping that's clearly something they could fix.
Yeah.
With feedback. And even I'm like, okay, when do I use this? When is and even they have character training for all the different characters, and there's a section of training about how to do the moves, a section of training on combos, and there's a section it's called I can't remember what it's called, but the third section is an interesting. I don't think I've ever seen one unless it's been in a recent Arc Systems game, and I just didn't get that far in the training stuff. The last set of tutorials for each character is basically like, do a move that involves this game concept that does this much damage. Go. It doesn't tell you what combo to do. It just tells you, do a combo with this sort of archetype and get this much damage from it.
Yeah.
And that is actually a really good way to train.
That is a good way to teach someone,
But I don't think it teaches you where the basics work. If you remember the Invincible fighting game onboarding, it did a really good job of teaching you, okay, this is how this tag thing works. You want to use this when this is happening.
Right.
And this game doesn't do that.
Yeah, it really doesn't tell you that at all. I also thought it did a bad job of telling you like how the meters worked. And what the meters were and what they represented and how you should work around it.
It doesn't really highlight those. It's weird because it's clearly designed for someone who isn't super physically adept at fighting game motions and fighting game, but it doesn't teach you how a fighting game works.
Yeah, I would say this too. I was like pleasantly surprised in myself playing this because crazy stuff happens. Yeah. And you're like, I don't even know how I did that.
Yeah. It's like oh, I mean, that I won, but I don't really know. I don't think I did
Seriously,
anything. You know?
There were times in this game I was like, damn, I just crushed it. And then I'm like, but I have no idea how I did it. And I can't replicate it.
And then sometimes you do like some crazy big thing and you're like, well, that didn't do much damage,
right?
Did it? Yeah. Like optimizing is a real issue, especially in a tag fighter. Optimizing is important because of damage scaling and all that. And like it's very hard to get your head around how that works in this game, and you really got to watch YouTube videos of other people that are more experienced with it.
I do like how pre-match you can kind of fiddle around. It'll show you like the commands popping up on screen, so it gives you like a little bit of time to practice before each match.
I mean, that's the thing about this game is it is very full featured. I mean, Arc System Works is very good about that anyway.
It's like Smash Brothers. Like
if you can think of it, you've got different challenges. You got arcade mode. You've got episodes for all the teams have their own little story modes. You've got little objectives on those when that happens. You've got online modes of every kind. You've got every kind of training mode you can think about.
Ranked,
to go in the lab.
All of it.
You have the lobby stuff with all the weird sort of chibi-ish stuff. I mean, it's all there, and it's all Marvel, and it's all like
handled well.
This game was made by Marvel fans on a level that like you gotta respect. And in the same way of like when you play like the King of Fighters stuff, or when you play like the Capcom vs SNK stuff, and everybody's has those like specialized lines to each other before the fights and stuff. Like the characters in this talk to each other back and forth all the time, and the dialogue is very true to the characters anyway. But also, what they say to each other is like when Cap and Tony are fighting, they are talking to each other, not just to some random.
It's not like some random like voice sample firing off.
These characters' histories with each other are referenced constantly, and that's great. Even like the more obscure things, like Magic and Storm have talks to each other. And you know, deep in the comic stuff, and the villain stuff is great because the villains. I mean, it's one thing that Green Goblin has obviously a unique dialogue with Spider-Man, but the Green Goblin has unique dialogue with Carnage.
With everybody.
Because, like, they all know each other. And, like, that's a I mean, it's a big deal with the modern Marvel stuff anyways. Like, these people have been doing this, you know, for 15 years together.
Your Iron Man's more traditional get-up is coming.
Yes, they're putting out a lot of classic stuff. We're not the only ones that hated his costume in this. And there are a good number of costumes that I think that get you where you need to go. And that Iron Man for me is just the one that is the most far afield, and I would rather have an Extremis or and almost any other Iron Man. It just doesn't look like something Tony would make. Yeah.
How do you feel about the tag in this? The four-player teams, which is crazy.
I think it works pretty well. I do like the you got to earn them thing. Yeah. Like that's an interesting
in the fight.
That's an interesting mechanic, and it rewards. They found a good way to reward doing well, which is like when you knock someone through the stage, you get one of your characters unlocked. Or if you get defeated, you get. If you're doing poorly, you get it unlocked too. So it feels like parity is achieved. But you do, if you're doing well, you do feel like you are being rewarded.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a very delicate balance, and I guess that goes back to what you said before about playing something the developers played the living hell out of. Yeah. And obviously beta tested.
Yeah, for sure.
You can feel that in almost every second of this game.
A lot of the tag stuff was stuff that happened on accident for me.
That is true. Invincible's like that too because it is all the tag system in this and Invincible, sort of a modern tag system is just done with button presses in a way that the old ones weren't because you have more buttons to work with than just 6. Yeah,
the team up attacks. I don't think I ever did one on purpose, but they happened all the time.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of there to make it look like you're doing something cool anyway. And there are obviously ways to, you can take some of those assists off. You can.
I can do it on purpose if I were good enough.
On purpose, yeah. But like in general, it's just here. Like it can be hard when you watch a game between two players to tell who is button mashing and who knows what they're doing. Yeah. And in the end, the way you tell is generally how someone gets an opening. Mm-hmm. Like someone who knows how to space, someone who knows how to zone, someone who knows how to cross up or use an unblockable setup is gonna get that opening and do that combo. But it's hard to tell during the combo unless they're doing some crazy sort of reset juggle stuff.
No, you're right. It's hard to tell who the good player is when you watch people play this.
And the good thing about that is that if you don't really know what you're doing, you don't feel like you're being like styled on so much by people that do know what they're doing because you're still doing cool stuff. Yeah. And you don't feel so bad about it.
Well, I think the rhythm of this game feels good. Like if you play a lot of fighting games, like I was able to like time okay, I jumped in, I staggered, start the combo. Like, the timing and the feel for that in this game is great. If you've just played fighting games, you can jump in and be proficient at this game pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And that's good. For a game like this, I think that's important.
The learning curve on this is much more learning how and why and when you do things. It's more about why and when you do things than how you do things. Yeah. Because you're going to be able to do all the moves in this. I mean, part of it, I find it difficult to remember what does what to sometimes because so much of it is like all the special moves are just a direction and or a button and right trigger. Yeah. Or some kind of...
they are.
It was always easier for me. It's easier for me to remember, okay, half circle forward, that's going to be your distance attack. Yeah. Some kind of shoryuken, there's your uppercut. But in this, it's more like, okay, like down, forward, and B, and that's going to do it. And I just it's like learning a new language. It's very hard for me to feel like in control of all this. Like just doing the basic like juggle combos and the tutorial stuff was like
I could hardly pass them.
It's hard.
I could hardly pass them.
And it's not because I'm like I can't. It's not because I don't know what I need to do. It's just because like once I get in the air, I want to do another unibeam, and I'm trying to do a fireball, and I'm like, no, it's forward and B and the trigger. And it's just like
My only major complaint with this, honestly, like I really enjoyed my time with this. I have not played the final version. I only played the beta. I obviously played a bunch of other stuff this week. My only really big complaint is like the pre-fight cinemas, like where they deliver like their little voice line. Like some of those voice lines, there's definitely some English as a second language stuff going on.
Here and there, there's characters it doesn't mean like I don't believe. I don't believe Steve Rogers would scream living legend when he does something.
No.
He wouldn't think of himself.
There's some
like
stuff
that.
in this that is out of context.
There's a little bit of anime convention happening here, which is fine. But most of the characters are done very much like themselves. Storm is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Doom is very good. You know, they get it. They get it right where they need to get it right. I'm hoping we get some more of those characters.
Well, I'm
in
like
the
looking back in the background,
point.
like where's Nightcrawler? Like he's not in the game yet. Like
Nightcrawler's never been.
Colossus is back there too.
Nightcrawler's never been in a fighting game.
Really?
He's never.
Because he's hard. Because he can disappear.
He can teleport. I mean, they've
It's
done
kinda
teleports
cheating.
before.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that most of the characters you see in the background here are probably going to show up one day. There's no possible way in hell Psylocke doesn't end up in this.
Colossus is definitely going to end up.
Colossus will probably be in there. Gambit and Rogue have to be in there. You know, I think I would love to see Dazzler.
Yeah.
Some deeper cuts. Obviously, the first is going to be Cyclops, which is the correct first person to add to this.
Yeah.
You know, it's also in the first DLC for the beat 'em up.
That's right.
Because everybody loves Cyclops. You gotta get Cyclops.
Yeah.
Cyclops is about to have a big moment.
Yeah,
Doomsday.
yeah.
It's coming, James Marsden's coming back.
True. Yeah. But would you agree with me that this is a good game for both hardcore fighting fans and casuals?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is very rare.
I think hardcore fans, if you haven't been playing like kind of the more modern style of fighting game, like 2D fighting game controls, especially from Arcs, I think you're gonna have trouble. I mean, I'm still having trouble adjusting to it.
Yeah.
But I'm able to get through stuff fine. I don't always feel like I have full control over what's happening, which is annoying to me. But to someone who's less experienced in fighting games, I don't think that's going to be annoying to them. I think they're going to feel like they're doing cool stuff. Whereas I'm just like, okay, I won that, but I didn't intend to win it, and that bugs me.
Yeah.
Because I want control over what I'm doing in these games. Whereas like, I think most people are just being like, well, I won and I don't fucking care.
Yep.
But if you care about learning why you want to do things and when you want to do them, you're going to have to go to the community and not the onboarding in the game, because the game really doesn't communicate that very much.
I agree with
Which
that.
I think, I mean, it's not like most fighting games do that, but I felt like after Invincible did a pretty good job of that I was sort of hoping that was going to be the new gold standard, and clearly not here. But there's tons of people doing YouTube videos and stuff on like how to play this game, how to play each character.
This game is huge.
It's huge. And like you can find that detail if you need it. It's just a matter of seeking it out and then being able to execute it without 30 years of Street Fighter muscle memory getting in your way, which is really my problem. And that's kind of my main issue with this game is I know I am not going to have the time or motivation to master this thing the way I would have maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's annoying to me in the sense that like, well, I would like that, but there's no room in my life for this right now. But it is a great Marvel fighting game. It's a
great fighting game.
It's certainly the best Marvel tag fighter since Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It is a worthy successor to that, I think. I think the four character teams make it feel a little different, and more or less, I think they pull that off. And all the fan service is there. All the characters feel like themselves. It feels, Blade is fantastic. There's a couple characters in there people have been wanting in a Capcom fighting game forever, and we finally got a Green Goblin. We finally got a good Ghost Rider, especially Robbie Reyes, who's a very the muscle car Ghost Rider, which is highly requested. We finally got Blade. Blade's a big deal. A Carnage that isn't a Venom palette swap.
Right,
That's
right.
great. So there's a lot of cool shit happening here.
Yeah. I would recommend that people buy this if they're into fighting games.
Yeah, if you're into fighting games and you're into Marvel, I mean, if you don't like Marvel, good luck.
If you're a DC fanboy, then sure, you're probably not going to like this, but they might even still like it. Seriously, it's a really good game.
I mean, if I was Warner Brothers, I'd be on the horn to PlayStation
Arc
right now,
or whatever.
Arc and PlayStation. I mean, you have to go through PlayStation, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a system you could use for just about any kind of anything.
Because they've managed to find the happy medium between the crazy fighting game people and the casuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not easy to do.
And in the meantime, you are appealing to the crazy hardcore Marvel people. Mm-hmm. And that's the hard thing to do. And Rivals figured it out, and they're doing the same thing. I think the inclusion of Magic in this is a nod to Rivals, because she's in Rivals as well.
Yeah.
She's not a character you necessarily expect to show up all the time. Someone was clearly a fan. But she's a good inclusion. She's different. The more weird Magic Marvel stuff you can involve into these things, the better, because that's sort of an unexplored corner of the Marvel universe still, even with all the mainstreaming that it's had.
Yeah.
Because they never made the Blade movie. They never really got into the Doctor Strange stuff beyond those two movies. Ghost Rider's coming back now with Ryan Gosling of all people, but like we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good, and I just now it's just time to sit back and watch them add more and more characters until we got a 60 character roster in this thing, and it'll be, I think, one of the greatest Marvel games of all time.
Wow. Big words.
My inability to play this correctly does not reflect on the game. It's just I wish I was in a space where I could really sit down and focus on this, and I just can't really. Yeah. But I think they nailed it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I had a blast with it in the beta.
The only issue was the PC version had all the slowdown problems and stuff.
But that's fixed now. Apparently.
And I did buy the PC version originally, and I almost refunded it and bought the PS5 one. But I thought, you know what? Let's see what they do on Monday.
And they did.
Especially after Maximilian Dude basically roasted them for 4 days straight. And sure enough, yesterday they put a patch out, and it does seem to be, back to back. I mean, it's a shame they didn't figure that out for launch, obviously, but it does seem to be more or less fixed now. So.
All right, there you go.
Because I picked the PC version because you're gonna have mods, so maybe people can do some cool stuff with that later. But mostly because playing on PC does not add the lag issue that my home theater setup does. Playing in the living room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that
makes a big
couple of split seconds might matter, so let's do it on PC.
For sure.
And then you get online, you're like, oh, everyone. Wasn't it going faster when I was playing it a minute ago? Oh no.
That sucks.
So, but they did it. They one of the problems with it, according to the patch notes, was that it was like constantly checking for new audio devices, and that was slowing everything down. Like, what a weird.
That is a weird issue. Yeah, that's PC for you. Well, that's 2 thumbs up for Marvel Tokon from GameFace. Go out and get it. If you like fighting games, if you love Marvel, definitely go out and get it. All right, next up, and actually last in today's show, my preview of Gears of War multiplayer. We're not going to spend much time on this. You can see it by the clock. We don't have much time to spend on this, but I spent a lot of time playing the Gears of War open beta over the weekend, and I just want to share my impressions with you guys very quickly here. It won't take very long. We did kind of blow this out last week in the show, but we hadn't played it yet. So I do want to share my experiences playing this. First of all, the one thing I want to say is initially there was not supposed to be Versus in this. It was supposed to just be the brand new variant of Horde. I guess people complained, and so they added Versus. The first thing I'm going to say before I talk about the Horde stuff is that I played Versus for 3 matches and quit. I did not get a single kill in 3 matches.
I saw some videos of. It turns out adding jump to this made a lot of things worse. The wall bouncers can go vertical now.
It's the wall bouncing. Literally, if you don't do it, you have no chance. You just spawn and die.
Well, I saw videos of this guy. He's like, watch what I can do with the jumping, basically. And like he's wall bouncing, but he's also using the jumping to hop over there. And he's like, I'm not even gonna kill this guy. I'm just gonna never let him see me. Yeah. And he just basically was hopping over him and beyond. Like the guy couldn't get him. See it, couldn't find him.
Basically, if you're on the other side of a corner, you can just turn around and kill him instantly. Just pop, 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 and it was just pointless. It's ruined. I don't know why anybody's going to want to play the Versus. However, I've spent most of my time playing the new Horde mode, and that is a lot of fun. And I had a blast playing it. And I will say this, like the new stuff that's in this that they added, like the jumping, the ability to slide, the ability to climb over cover and things like that. If people aren't abusing it in the Versus and you're just using it together in a cooperative mode, it's awesome. Because it just helps you navigate the enemies and get away. Now,
and that's always kind of been the thing with this is like the system doesn't really work. The system doesn't really survive contact with competitive tryhards.
Yep. And I still feel that way, but when you're playing cooperatively, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're all fighting towards the same goal.
That's why Horde mode's great. Because you get to play it the way the game's intended to be played, but you get to play with other people in like a co-op thing, and that was always the appeal of that.
And this is completely different too. My one complaint is that there was only one map for this pretty much the entire weekend, so it did kind of wear out its welcome after a while.
Have they said how many maps there are for this in the final?
I think they did, but I don't have that information with me, unfortunately. But there's only one in the beta.
Because I would imagine it can't be that many because these maps are huge.
They're gigantic. Like, this map is gigantic. And it's so big that it holds 3 teams. So their teams are color-coded, so it's pretty easy to make sure you're always fighting with your team. But you cross over with the other teams all the time. Like, you'll just wander into a boss fight because some other team activated it and they're fighting a boss. You're like, oh, I'll stop and help you fight the boss for 5 minutes or whatever. move on to your own objectives. You crisscross over with people. I've had people on other teams come in and help us clear the extraction zone, because ultimately this is an extraction mode. So basically how it works is you go out into the world with your team. You start in a room with like a place where you can buy your armaments or whatever. And then you go out into the world and you just run to the icons. And you get to icons, sometimes it's like defend this space. Sometimes it's like activate that machine you just saw right there and defend that machine. To be fair, most of it is defend this or that because it's a horde mode and you're getting waves of enemies coming in that you need to fight. So every mission, you activate it, it basically tells you how many waves you have to fight through. And then your team hunker down and you fight through the waves. And the way they set up the missions is they'll put it someplace where there is an inventory station. So basically between waves, you head back to the inventory station, you buy a bunch of stuff, and there's like defensive stuff in this that you can buy. I never found the turrets. I didn't play the class that had turrets, but other people did. But the class that I played mostly, like you could pick up these like mines, these that would drill into the ground, or you could lay down almost these like spike patterns down on the ground to defend places. So in between each round, you're running back to the machine, you're refilling your ammo, getting a new weapon if you want it, and you're buying like these deterrents that you can use on the ground to slow down the enemies. And you fight through each wave. Once you finish the wave, they say go to the extraction zone. You run as a team to the extraction zone. You clear out the extraction zone. You fight all the enemies that are there. Chopper comes down, lands, picks you up, and takes you off, and you get all your rewards. And that's pretty much it. That's the new mode, and it is great fun. The other thing that's cool about it is just you're seeing in this B-roll, you get to like see all the creatures in the game. Like all the bosses roll up, all the mid-bosses roll up, all the elite level bosses roll up. You're also going to see that you die a lot in this because you just do. Like an enemy will hit you with a rocket from behind or whatever. But because you have so many people around you to revive you, it's not a big deal. Because it isn't just your team that will revive you. Anyone can revive you. So somebody on some other team that's just wandering by can see you down and come up and pick you up. And so you die a lot, but you're always revived. Like it was very rare that I died and didn't finish a mission in this. So I thought it was a really good time. Again, there was one map and it did get, after 2 days of that same map, I started to get tired of it. But I played one map for 2 days before I got tired of it. That's pretty freaking awesome, man. So I had a lot of fun with the Horde variant in this. It really is unlike anything I've played in Gears. I mean, other than just the fact that you're taking on waves of enemies like every Horde mode. But otherwise, the variants in this do make a huge difference. And it's fun and exciting and different and way better than the Versus. So I don't even know if I'll play Versus when the game comes out. Like, why? Like, I'm never going to learn how to do the wall bounce because I don't want to. And if you don't do it, you can't compete. So I don't know what they're going to do with Versus, honestly. The other thing I would say, too, about this is, like, nobody uses, like, the chainsaw bayonet or anything. Like, a lot of the old, like, Gears stuff that are kind of like the tenets of the franchise, like, they're kind of yesterday's news and people don't use them anymore. Like, I unlocked so many weapons playing through this, like 10 or 12 different weapons. A lot of them I've never even heard of before. And I'm sure once you get into the Versus multiplayer, you learn about those weapons real fast, but I didn't spend that much time in it. I just played the Horde mode for the most part because it's the new thing that everybody's curious about, and I had a great frickin' time with it. So hopefully the campaign in this is pretty good. I can promise you that this cooperative Horde mode, after you finish the campaign, is going to be a lot of fun to play with. You're probably wondering what those yellow things are. That's the currency that you use to buy stuff.
Yeah, are those the tags?
No. Well, once you collect those things, then you go to the station. You can use those to like refill your ammo or buy a new weapon or buy the stuff that you throw on the ground or whatever. So there you go. That's Gears of War E-Day multiplayer. I don't know if any of you guys, Swan Senpai's asking what the wall bounce is. So the wall bounce is basically, you know how you lock onto cover in this and you're like hunkered down? Well, if you like keep tapping A, you'll keep bouncing from cover to cover. And that's what they call the wall bounce, because you bounce from one wall to the next and it becomes impossible to shoot somebody. And when you combine it with your shotgun, you can basically wall bounce right to next to cover where somebody is in and insta-kill them. And it takes really no skill at all. I mean, I'm sure if you have to practice it for a day or whatever, but everybody does it. And if you don't do it, you can't compete, and it just kind of ruins Versus. So I'm not the only one who hates wall bouncing. It's been a big topic this entire last weekend. People were talking about it online. You found people talking about it online. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal with Gears of War, and sadly, it's not really been changed or fixed for this. So game's coming out pretty soon. I doubt there's going to be a lot of major changes to the multiplayer at this point. Kind of what you see is what you get, I think. So But truth is, I had a really good time, and I played it all weekend on one map and never got sick of it. So I think that's a pretty good sign that when you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 maps, it's going to be a really good time. And that's just extra on top of the campaign that you've already played. So I think it's shaping up to be something cool. I hope they tweak the versus, but the chances of that happening are slim to none, so I'm not going to hold my breath. Matt, did you play this at all over the weekend?
No.
No? Any interesting gears at this point?
Sorta.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably try this mode when the time comes and see how the story is. I'm not even going to bother with versus.
I gave up on Gears versus many games ago.
This was also a game I was pleasantly surprised by the people I played with. Everybody was helping each other, even helping other squads and stuff. Like, you'd even be like, come on, squad, let's go help this other team. Like, they're fighting this boss. And we'd go over and help them fight the Brumac for 10 minutes or whatever. We'd get it under control and leave, and they'd be like, thanks. Like, there's a good vibe around this mode in general, I guess is what I would say. Everybody's into helping each other. And it's cool that there's, like, multiple teams out in the same world at the same time. Like, you can literally all get together and have, like, 12 dudes, like, fighting against one boss or whatever if you really, like, team up. So I had a good time with it. I was pleasantly surprised by it. As you can see by the B-roll, it looks great. I will say this, it does not run great. Here, watch this.
You can see that.
Yep, this area, it flattened out every freaking time. If you go in this tunnel with enemies in it and fight, it will almost bottom out.
Well, that's what the beta's for, I guess.
Yep. So there was frame rate issues, but the game looks great. And when you're out in the open world, it only seems like to be when you're cramped areas like this where it does this for some reason. But it was a consistent issue that I experienced multiple times throughout the weekend. So it wasn't just like a one-off or an anomaly or something like that. There's someone using the chainsaw bayonet.
Getting killed doing it.
And he died using it. That's funny. Anyway, I'll say this: Gears of War E-Day is shaping up to be a really quality product. Like it's looking like whether you like Gears or not, that's entirely up to you and your opinion and games that you like or you don't. But
certainly seems to be coming out on top of the Halo Combat Evolved versus Gears question.
I enjoyed this far more, actually. I didn't even compare them until now, thinking about it, but I enjoyed this more. To be fair, Campaign Evolved is a 20-some-year-old game, so it probably shouldn't be as
But
good as
there are
this.
people who would argue that Gears is also a 20-year-old game.
That's true.
in as much as it has evolved.
Soulwax Remix says it's so surreal seeing people talking about Gears multiplayer again in 2026. Yep. Big Smoke 82 says it sounds a bit like early Destiny when you would stumble into squads fighting many bosses in the open world. It is kind of like that. Yeah. It's got that same kind of vibe to it. And then what happened to Destiny? Hopefully that won't happen in this game as well. All right.
Well, that would only happen if they decided to just start taking Brumacs out of the game because we can't keep them on the server anymore.
That's true. All right. Well, there you go. That's Gears of War E-Day multiplayer, and that brings us to the end of the show, which means, of course, there is just one thing left to do. All right, it's time for Name That Game Tune, brought to you by Soundwizardry.com, the absolute wizards of audio, game audio, film audio, TV audio, anything you're working on that has sound in it. Contact Soundwizardry.com. They will make your project better, I promise you, and you'll have a good time in the process hanging out with Glenn and crew. Good times. Contact Soundwizardry.com. They sponsor this cool little game we play called Name That Game Tune, where I play 5 samples from a video game. You try to guess the name before this guy right here. It's very simple. There's no other rules other than the chat goes into slow mode and you can't spam the chat with random game titles. That's it. You can play all year long. At the end of the year, whoever has the most wins will be crowned the champion of Name That Game Tune. Let me bring up your headphones, Matt. That should be good. Let me bring up the interface. Everybody over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments. But if you want to play Name That Game Tune, you do have to jump over to Twitch. We can only do it with one chat at a time. AJ always bails before Name That Game Tune. He's always got something he just has to do right before we play every week. Okay, let me bring up the soundboard here. All right. Matt, are you ready to play Name That Game Tune?
Mm-hmm.
Are you people ready to play Name That Game Tune? Here is the first sample in 3, 2, 1. Not Pac-Man. I can totally see where you get that. It's not Pac-Man, though. Microsoft 3D Pinball, no. Godzilla Save the Earth, no. We're going so fast. I got to scroll up. They're all coming in at once. Not Godzilla Save the Earth. Not Super Metroid. Not Mario Sunshine. Not Metroid 2. Not Astrobot. Not Mario Sunshine. Not Mario Kart 64. Not Ocarina of Time. Lots of Mario 64 guesses. Not System Shock. Not Pac-Man. And not Tetris Effect. Not Majora's Mask. Any other guesses before we go to the second one?
Revolution X?
No. Ill Breed? Nope, that's not it. Mousetrap? That's not it. Any last guesses before we move to the second one? And you guys aren't supposed to get it on the first one. At least that's my goal generally, is that you don't get it on the first one. You could if you're really good and you really know the game. Pac-Man Adventure? No. From Draylox. Banjo-Kazooie? No. Luigi's Mansion? No. Any last guesses? Going once. Going twice. Soul. All right, here's the second sample in 3, 2, 1. That second one, jog any memories. Someone already guessed Super Mario Sunshine. It's not it. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, no. Boktai, the sun is in your hand, no. Tayo! Nino Kuni, no. Chrono Trigger, no.
Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Nope. Mario Party 2, no. Body Harvest, no. Final Fantasy 6, that's not it. It's not The Messenger. Create a clip. Our whole show's an awesome clip. What you talking about? Any last guesses on that second one before we move on? Going once. Oh, Pokemon Stadium. Nope. Shovel Knight. No. Kung Fu Master. No. Any last guesses? House of the Dead. No. Glover 64. That's not it. Emperor Gestalt is our leader in the clubhouse right now. He's got 3 wins. Any last guesses before we go to the next one? King of the Monsters, no. Everyone thinks there's a kaiju game for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting that.
I don't either. For some reason. Going once. Going twice. Oh, Gunstar Superheroes. Nope. I can see where you guessed that, though. From Luna Cholibre. All right, going once. We're going twice. And we are on to the third sample. And here it is in 3, 2, 1. It's a pretty long one. Quest 64, no.
Sunset Riders?
No. Kingdom Hearts, no. Harvest Moon, no. What's up, Gune Gune? Hope you're having a good week. Paper Mario, no. Psychonauts, no. Use Your Suit Larry, no. Seventh guest. I am just hearing horror. No, that's not it, J.M. Rain. I know you love horror, but no, it's not seventh guest.
Evil Within?
No. Goonies 2, no. Escape from Monkey Island, no. Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, it's not it. What's up, Too Quick? Hope you're doing good. Parasite Eve, no. Another Luigi's Mansion, nope. Any last guesses before we go to the fourth one? Dark Watch, no.
First time Dark Watch has been mentioned on the internet in a long time.
Banjo-Kazooie. Dave, somebody already guessed that. That's not it. Any last guesses? Going once. Going twice. Soul. Here's the fourth sample. We're getting down to it. Listen to this one closely. Here it is in 3, 2, 1. Another long one. Banjo Nuts and Bolts, no. Uh-oh. We may not get a winner this time. Jack 3, no. That's a good guess, times any, but it's not Jack 3. Supermarket Galaxy. I'm not even familiar with that game. Super Mario Galaxy, I guess. Mario Kart Double Dash, no. Tony Hawk Underground 2, no. Mario Kart 64, no. That's a good guess, but not it. Carnival Games, no. Grandia, no. Diddy Kong Racing, no. These are all good guesses, but not correct.
Crash Team Racing.
No. Any guesses? Before we go to the last sample, I may have stumped y'all this time. Going once. Oh, Rayman 2, no. Mischief Makers, Stucky, we just did that like 3 weeks ago. We finally did Mischief Makers. You must not have been here. Crash Bandicoot, rather Cortex, no. Castlevania, no. And I didn't even use Shake, Shake, Shake for that one. Stucky. Any last guesses? Going once.
Yeah, I got Mischief Makers of the menu sound. We wouldn't be here
still. If that was we probably still would have been here if you didn't get it. All right, here we go to the last sample. In 3, 2, 1. Yahoo! Yahoo! Mario Kart World, no. We have a winner. This is for Video Games. Yep, he got it in just before Ashes in the Hourglass. It is Wario World. Great job. GameCube game. You Shine Bright was like Wario on GameCube. Yep, a lot of people got it from that last one, which is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to get it on that 5th one. Congratulations to This Is for Video Games. Have you won? I think that's your first win, if I remember correctly. There's so many winners now, it's hard for me to remember all of them, but I think that's your first one. Congratulations, This Is for Video Games. You're here pretty much every week. Good to see a regular win. All right. That's going to do it for GameFace, episode 492, right here on Sifted at sifted.net. Another reminder that we are supported at patreon.com/sifted. Let me actually turn down these headphones here. If you like what we're doing, you want to see it continue, head on over there. Sifted is spelled SIFTD. For $5 a month, you get all our content early with a nice exclusivity window before any of that stuff goes to our YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate that. That's the best thing you can do to help us. But if you don't have money like that, but you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, help us out with Twitch Prime. You hear us talking about it on the show every stinking week. That's because so many people do it, because it's a huge help for us. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can give us a free $2.50 every month. For free. It costs you nothing. It's a part of your Amazon Prime subscription. If you haven't done it yet, if you haven't linked your accounts, go down below in the show description and figure it out. There's step-by-step instructions down there. If you have linked your accounts already, it's just 3 clicks. Go to twitch.tv/SiftedGames, click the drop-down, click the free Prime sub, and click submit, and you're done. And you gave us $2.50. That's all you got to do. So please head over and do that. That would be sweet. And if you can't do that, just like the show, comment on the show, share the show on social media. This is my favorite gaming podcast. You should watch it. All that stuff matters. It makes a difference for us. We really, really appreciate it. So let's see. Next week, we're going to have some Madden up in this. I know you guys are excited about that. What else for next week? Are there any other big releases this week?
Not much.
Yeah. Oh, Hell Let Loose Vietnam, I think. That crazy 50 versus 50 shooter, I think, comes out this week.
Not much.
Yep. Yep. To your point, not much. But bottom line is, we have like 4 topics from this week's show we didn't get to. I promise you, every week we have an awesome episode of GameFace for you guys. And we're here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/SiftedGames. So everybody, have yourselves a great week filled with great games. GameFace is up and out.